Yeah. I was there. I hit ours. Oh, I had a great work. What'd you do? I do a fine bet. But I do build it up. Yeah. And I think different things. Yep. Hear more about.
Not now.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah,
Thank you. 22 years old.
It did make sense to me before.
Why do they have my whole stuff? Like, okay, I'm right here. That's weird. Oh, sorry. Survive.
Yeah.
Still, you know. Yeah, I got that. Much in my house too.
I just don't get that other store.
My brother asked me that. I mean, if we can get going to a school like that, I'm on. It's really shy, you know?
Like that, like every month.
Like that, and then all you see is the grave, right? Did you see about a grave? Maybe I'm thinking more like the surgeon.
Right?
Yeah, like Grace House.
Oh, yeah.
You never want, like, so, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they, yeah, if I'm not right, like, there's an 80% chance it will snow. Now, how much?
Nobody follows it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just the dusting, sometimes it's like this much, but like once a month, you get in a storm that is 3 feet. I mean, like, just good one. Or it rains, like in the afternoon,
Yeah.
and then at night it's snow, you go to your car the next morning, it's like a sculpture.
So I would go with away. Now, in a new,
You gotta go to yourself.
I met him today.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I don't know, but when I. Right, so.
Yeah.
Gender and sees through.
Yeah.
You would.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Put it next to it. Right, and we mentioned to the over there.
Like eats the bag of Doritos.
Oh, really?
The way you entertain yourself.
Yeah,
when there's no shopping.
Yes. Bring some.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh. You get a PS sign, I get. Yeah, at least
stuck here.
Did you write that out? Is that your idea?
Make the sign.
Yeah.
Good, looks like Ben's hand.
Listen, hey, sometimes I guess don't even get to sort of see this.
Actually,
Yeah.
I know.
I've been here.
I know. You probably have right now because it's so much bigger now. Yeah.
In the comments. Oh, yeah, you can have the seat. Please. You can have my seat over there and I'll find another. Oh, that's good. Jackie went back.
Go back and say,
Regurgitating this stuff.
Me too. I have a 5 next.
You don't want to just hang out like scotch?
Yeah. I was just gonna.
Sit all day long, thank you.
No. Same idea.
I mean, this is, you know.
Oh, nice.
Did all day long.
She's still on soft though.
I didn't know that, that's great.
I like to go to that.
No, I think so. You're not too young. Just present, co-sponsor, at least one.
Girl, you know I love it.
He's got the pledge of allegiance. I did. Hey, bro, I said no tools. Okay.
Malcolm.
Lincoln?
Yes.
Wow. I get, they went.
Oh my God, Daryl.
Yeah.
Here, match. Just go and grab. Oh my God. Don't.
Okay, Miguel.
Get somebody.
That'll be going.
I feel like. So I don't.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you all had a nice break. We're gonna get started now, so those who haven't found your seats, find them. We call the meeting to order. It is,
There's not enough seats for.
how many are we missing?
We have seats at that table.
It's fine. There's seats over there.
There's an open spot here as well.
There's an open spot there. Back in.
I can stand up to it, doesn't bother me.
I mean, we'll stand up if you need to stand. Make sure everybody has a chair.
No, it's-
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't.
Oh, no.
Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. It is January 28th, 2026. The time is 7:02 PM. Would you all please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And Nikita is going to take roll call.
Anyone knows how to fix that suit?
What do you want?
Sure. Okay, Dante DiGregorio,
Present.
Beth Sullivan,
Present.
Marina Colonis. Present. Miguel Hoyos,
Present.
Benjamin Tomini,
Present.
Jack Doyle. Brianna Acosta. Present. Bella Bob. Here. Joshua Ballesteros,
Present.
Olivia Barone. Present. Monica Bazinia,
Here.
Zarian Campbell, Sonia Chutayan. William Dempsey,
Here.
Donovan Dodson,
Here.
Jacob Farenholz,
Present.
Jamie Goldberg,
Here.
Alexandra Howlett.
Here.
Riley Jackman,
Here.
Alex Kong.
Here.
Judy LaRose,
Present.
Alex Logan,
Present.
Malcolm Mann,
Here.
Paige Marshall. Here. Madison Mello,
Here.
Joshua Mihalos, James Ellis, Marcus Pacheco,
Here.
Kai Reed,
Here.
Marcus Rocha,
Here.
Haley Rose, Chris Russell,
Here.
Jason Sanchez, John Seguin,
Here.
Mia Smith, Nilsa Toshton, here, Jasmine Valdez, Lucas Weber,
Present.
Cindy Kozel. Present. Terry Levis. Here. Oh, thank you. That's right. Melissa Marcotte, Michael Kane,
Here.
Michael Ward,
Here.
Ted Zito,
Here.
Matthew Jakes, All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Nikita. Next, we're gonna move on to approval of the agenda.
Yes.
Right
So.
Vice President Sullivan.
Welcome back, everybody. Okay, I'm gonna make 2 amendments to the agenda. We were unable to meet quorum today in the elections meeting, so I'll be striking the elections policy vote from the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve striking that?
Make a motion. Okay, motion by Vice President Sullivan, second by Representative Reed. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, amendment passed. Vice President Sullivan.
My other amendment is under new business, open declaration for public relations coordinator. I also like to strike that. Miscommunication on my end. I'm making a motion to strike that.
Motion by Vice President Sullivan, second by Representative Howlett. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Amendment passed. There are no more needed amendments, I believe, so I am seeking a motion to approve the amended agenda. Motion by Representative Reed, second by Representative Mann. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Agenda approved. We're gonna move on to the approval of minutes from November 19th and December 3rd. So if you guys want to open up your meeting materials and we'll take a look at those. Look it over, make sure your name's on the list. You know what to do. Oh, Representative Rocha
I'm not listed
on November 19th. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's Pacheco. In the first roll call or at the last roll call at the end of the meeting? The beginning?
Yeah, I'm looking at the beginning.
Okay,
November 19th?
okay. I'd like to seek a motion to add Representative Rocha's name to members present for November 19th. Motion by Representative Seguin, second by Representative Logan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, amendment made. Any more errors anyone caught? You think we're good? I'll take your silence as a yes. I'm now seeking a motion to approve the meeting minutes from November 19th, 2025. Let's see. Motion by Representative Mann, seconded by Representative Baugh. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Minutes approved. So now look at December 3rd, 2025. Everyone see their names there? If they should be there?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Anyone need another minute? Representative, Vice President Sullivan?
I'd like to
Sorry.
make a motion to approve these minutes.
Okay. Seconded by President DiGregorio. All in favor?
Aye.
Or was there any discussion on that? Sorry. No? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
One opposed?
No.
All right, meeting minutes approved from December 3rd, 2025. All right, we're gonna move on to the next part of our agenda. That is our speakers. I would like to introduce James Mendoka. He's the Chief of Police Hey, Ben,
May I take a second to interrupt the whole world here?
I suppose.
To Dante's birthday today?
Happy birthday to Dante. Happy birthday to you.
Little cookies in the back if you prefer cookies.
No, I do. I love cheesecake. Leave it so hard.
All right. All right, yes. Happy birthday, President DiGregorio. All right. Back to the meeting. So I was introducing Chief of Police, Jace Mendoca, Anastasia Rodriguez, who has been here before, so welcome back. Thank you for coming. She's Vice President of Administration and Finance, and Jana Lawrence, who is the Interim Director of Emergency Management. So welcome, guys. The floor is yours.
So I'm starting off, and by the way, I'm just gonna introduce one more person. This is Nate Cahoon. He is the Assistant to the Vice President for Administration and Finance. He's my number 2, and in case you can't ever find me, if you get to him, it's gonna get to me. So just giving you another point of contact. I guess what I wanna say is, so first of all, I want to acknowledge what happened at Brown, because I mean, that's why we're having this topic of conversation and what we're all worried about. Just so you know, Jana, our interim director of emergency management, was actually hired prior to Brown happening. We had already recognized that this was something that we needed to take seriously and start moving on and had started working on. And the 3 of us are working together as a team, but as the vice president and the person that they report to, I wanted to stand up in front of you and take responsibility for the things that we're talking about. And so that you know that the administration is taking all this very, very seriously, and the buck stops right here. Okay. Things that we're working on. And so I want to get the kind of the elephant in the room kind of stuff off that's, out there. So, Representative O'Brien has brought forth again with 47 co-sponsors, the arming of campus police. I know there's a lot of opinions about it. I have no opinion on this. I'm just telling you the way the college is responding to it. We are taking no stance, neither positive nor negative against it. We're saying nothing other than to answer questions about what it would take to get it done if the bill passed. That's it. And that's only because it would take significant work for Rick to arm our police. Our officers are currently not able to carry weapons. They are not certified to do so. There's a whole lot of steps you have to do and a whole lot of things that will have to happen. That will take at a minimum 9 to 12 to probably 18 months to happen. And if you have questions about specificity, he's your guy. But I just want to put it out there that the college is not saying anything positive or negative against the bill. The bill's going to happen whether we want it there or not. All we're doing is answering questions as a college of what it would take and how long a timeline we would need. Because the current version of the bill gives us basically 3 months to do it, and there's no way that would happen. So just want to be clear about that. The Office of Post-Secondary Counsel has put out an RFP for emergency preparedness. That is OPC, RIC, and CCRI together as a group. We are not waiting for that because we know that 1, state procurement takes a while, and then 2, they're telling us while they will give us interim recommendations, it will take them 12 to 18 months to give us a report. We're not waiting for that. So we are doing things, we are already taking proactive steps to address safety and security on the campus before that report comes out, and things that we know that the vendor would tell us to do anyway. And then if they tell us to augment that and do more, then we will do more. But I just wanted to put that out there.
Can I just say one thing
Go
on
ahead.
that? Originally, the RFP actually went out before the incident at Brown Hill. So I want everybody to know on this campus, a lot of things we're doing was proactive and not reactive to that incident.
Yeah.
So I want to keep that in mind. Originally, I was asked to actually put out an RFP, which I did. And we had vendors that put in proposals. And just as we were grading those proposals, OPC, who we answered to, decided to do it collectively with CCRI and them. So we withdrew ours, we put another one out. But ours initially way predated it, and even the one collectively was put out long before the incident at Brown University.
Point of information, what's an RFP?
Request proposal.
Yeah.
It just means it's a document that you put together asking vendors who are specializing in that type of work to answer to us and tell us that they're willing to do the work that we're asking to at the scope, and then how much would they charge so that we can do a competitive bid according to state procurement law.
We broke down everything, what we wanted done. You know, a complete vulnerability assessment, needs assessment, all that thing combined in there, and it's pretty comprehensive. So we're at the point now where we did originally do what do you call it? First of all, I just say just a while ago, the technical proposal.
So, yeah,
Right? You look at what they responded with, you grade it based on what they say they want to do with what we want.
Right.
So the grades are done. After that, we actually have interviews with them. You know, they give a demonstration, we ask a bunch of questions, then individually, the people on the committee all score that. Then finally is the cost proposal. When we pick the vendors we're interested in, they put in the cost. It's not necessarily the lowest bidder. The lowest bidder in some situations doesn't really take a grasp at how big this job is gonna be. So sometimes they underbid. So that's all taken consideration. We finally decided on who we think is the best one, and we sent that to the department administration, and we're waiting on a response back.
so then after that, we are doing so actually, funny enough, this happened before Brown. So a lot of these things that we're talking about are actually starting to happen before Brown happened. We're just moving them faster now. So we had hired Jana Lawrence to be our director of emergency management. She had come in and done kind of a preliminary assessment. By the way, she is a former New York police officer, and so has a lot of experience in this kind of work and has a lot of connections in Rhode Island. So one of the things that Jana had identified was that our buildings don't have addresses. So if you need a first responder on campus, a police officer or somebody has to go down and meet them, usually at Mount Pleasant or at Fruit Hill, and bring them onto campus and take them to where it is. So she identified that that was an issue, and so she has actually very successfully worked with Providence and North Providence we have now are getting all of our roads officially named, all of our buildings have official addresses. We're getting them geolocated so that E911 will know that if you call from Roberts Hall, where that is, or Craig Lee or whatever, and they're gonna know how to get there.
They'll have street addresses now, where before it was just College Road, no addresses. So it'll be actually, we had one address, the address of the campus. That's all gonna change.
So every building will now have signage. So things that you're gonna see is that every building, we were about to put new signs on, so I waited to put the signs out for Jana to get the addresses all done. So we're working through that process to get all the buildings numbered and properly addressed. They'll have signs that say what their addresses are. Inside the buildings, we'll start telling you we'll have signs in the buildings that tell you wayfinding, but also tell you what the address of the building is in case you ever need it. In case of emergency, you'll be able to find it. But what we're also doing is we're gonna number all the doors. So I'm bringing that up because also as putting the buildings on the map, we're also gonna you'll start seeing labels go on above the doors, and we're working on door security to where if we ever needed to lock down the campus, now we can't do that right now, but we're gonna get to the point where if we ever need to lock down the campus, we can push a button and all the doors are gonna lock. We're also you're gonna see the way the IDs work will change so that in case if we ever need to have an increased security posture and we wanted to make it where you can only access a building with an ID, that your IDs will get you into a building. So like we might, and I'm not saying we would do this, but this is just an example. We might say that from 8 to 5, the library is wide open, but at 5 o'clock at night and after that, only students, faculty, and staff can access the library, and you have to have an ID and you'll swipe your way in to get in, okay?
Every ID, your name will be programmed with your rights. Certain buildings you're allowed to go in, times they're allowed to go in. Campus police, certain people in administration will have 24-hour access to any building on campus. But we're restricted depending on what the needs are, whether it be a staff, student, or faculty, or administration.
So like I said, we're doing door audits, and we're also gonna look at classroom door security. We recognize that we probably need to rethink that, so we're looking into that. That one's more of a longer term thing, but we are thinking about it, and we hope to have a potential solution maybe for fall of next year, but definitely by spring. But as something so that like if you were in an active shooter situation, you would be able to somehow bar the door from being able to be opened and that kind of thing. We're assessing all of our cameras. We have over 700 cameras on the campus. We also have flock cameras, which are license plate readers that as you come onto campus that read your license plates. The reason I'm bringing that one up is because it's been in the news. The city of Providence has a major crime center that they want access to the cameras on all the college campuses. They're asking everybody, A couple colleges have already agreed to it. We are still in the fact finding part of that. We're actually gonna go down, the three of us are gonna go down and actually tour the facility, learn more about how they're using that data. We've gotten the legal agreement that we're gonna review by council and various and sundry parties to figure out whether or not we, Rhode Island College, want to be part of that. It would not be all of our cameras, but they would have access to the flock data, and that my understanding is they're only gonna be looking at it if there was a crime, a major crime on campus. That's what it's for, is to protect the city of Providence. Again, we're not there yet. There will be a lot more conversation about it, but it's been in the news that they've asked us to do it. So I just wanted to, again, address all the elephants in the room, which is that we've been asked to give our access to our cameras.
We'll have a memorandum of agreement. Obviously, our chief legal counsel will review all that.
Okay.
We understand there's a balance between security and privacy. We're well aware of that.
Then we are also working on trainings. So Jana is working to put together a list of different kinds of trainings. Some will be offered to students, faculty, staff. Some of it will be building specific. Some of it will be behavioral threat assessment. Some of it'll be active shooter. Some of it'll be, situational awareness type stuff. You're gonna start seeing emails coming out February, March, April timeframes for trainings. And we're gonna start making that a lot more regularly scheduled and ongoing. And those are the major things I wanted to talk about, and we are open for any questions that y'all have. Thanks. Oh, I almost forgot the app. So
One big thing.
Rave, okay. So we already have a Rave alert system, and that's how you get your text messages if something goes wrong. We are actively working to have the Rave app. So it's the
Rave.
app armor.
Armor.
Yes. It basically turns every smartphone into a panic button. So you would be able, so if you were ever in a situation, you would be able to open your app, and if you needed to hit a panic button, it'll connect you directly to dispatch. If you're in an active shooter situation, it gives you the ability to text dispatch so that you can tell them something's going wrong without having to use your voice and give away your location. It even has an ability, so like if you were walking, and I'm thinking about you, Tess, from social work back to the dorms, you can say, if I'm not at this geolocation in 15 minutes, text my mother, my aunt, or dispatch, okay? So it has a lot of options.
Virtual
for security.
escort is what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
So it gives you more security, and it basically turns your smartphone into basically the blue light emergency phone cameras, and it gives you a panic button.
As soon as you press a button, we'll know your location. We'll get a GPS location where exactly where you are.
I know, I've heard that there's some concerns about that as far as, I'll just be honest, if you're carrying a cell phone, this is a geolocator. If you don't have it, you can still call 8888 to get the police. So I'm not trying to tell anybody to use it or don't use it. What will happen is once we have it on the App Store, we're actually, I think, already approved with Google. We're waiting for Apple. Once we have that, we're gonna put up QR codes and obviously put out blasts to tell people to download the app. You can choose to use it or not use it. It just gives you a little bit more security in your hands with your phone. Okay? These are the things that we are trying to get and put in place to make everyone feel more secure on campus. Anything else I forgot?
Alerts too.
Oh, so we already have a pretty good dispatch system. We have the fire alarm systems and stuff like that, but we're adding on to it Alertus, which will be able to take over any campus. So like, again, if we had an active shooter situation and we need to send out an alert to the campus, it would take over every computer. It gives us ability to have more than 140 characters as a text message. So that means we can put more information in your hands faster. What else does it do?
Well, it's a one button solution, really.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a separate tablet that's gonna be remained on. There's no logging in or logging off. It's gonna stay there. Pre-scripted messages, and it's simple. The dispatcher just hits that button and sends it out. Of course, you probably have to hit something twice. You don't send out by accident. There's probably gonna be some protection with that, but the messaging will go out immediately. Now you have to log in, make sure the message is correct, send it. There's a delay. System is gonna be a lot faster and a lot easier to use. And when it's simplified, it gets used quicker. You get the information a lot faster.
Because that's the other thing we've thought a lot about is like the 17 minutes it took for the text message. We're trying to make it where it's a lot faster. We've got pre-programmed. We've already designed pre-programmed messages. We've already had conversations about how fast, like if we think there's something going on, I'm just going to tell you, we're going to we're gonna err on the side of alerting you. And if we have to take it back because we were wrong, I'd rather be wrong and protect you than not. That's the posture that I'm taking on that. And we're the ones that make the call to hit the button. So we're gonna be hitting the button as fast as we can hit the button because we want to make sure that everyone has information and is safe. Okay, anything else? I don't think so. Okay, so now y'all can ask us all the questions in the world. We're open to all your questions.
Okay, thank you very much. When you guys ask your questions, please introduce yourselves first, so they know who they're talking to. We have Representative Budzina.
So my name is Monica Budzina. I'm a junior here at Riggs, and I just have a few questions for you. So my first one, I just want like a little bit of clarification on the bill that you brought up, that's being proposed right now that would arm the police here. Would it be, if the bill were to get passed, is it a mandate to arm? Okay.
We be state law. Rep. O'Brien, who's the representative for North Province and Province, he's a school teacher, I think, for North Province school system. He's been putting in this bill for the past probably 10 years. When I came on board about 7 years ago, I met with him and discussed quite a few things. I mean, he wanted to move really quick, and I'm like, Rep. O'Brien, I just got here. I don't even know where to get a good sandwich yet, you know? So we were able to talk with him a little bit and let him know I had some priorities I had to put in place and make sure the agency was where it needed to be professionally before we even talked about arming. We are there. We were in a really bad place when I got here, and I have no problem saying that. But we become accredited through the state. We're nationally accredited. It's only 5% of law enforcement agencies throughout the country that have that. Matter of fact, we're going through our 3rd year review right now on it. It's very tough to maintain. It's harder to actually maintain than it is to actually achieve. So we're at that point where I feel comfortable if the bill was to be passed. But yes, like you mentioned, if it does get passed, if the governor signs it, it becomes law, and the college has
We have no choice but
no
to follow.
choice.
I know that you guys don't really have much control over what happens, but the police at Brown were armed, but that didn't really.
Well, they were the first ones on scene. A lot of people don't realize that. They were there, the shooter left. But what wasn't told in the story is that the Brown officers went in and there were students there that were injured, were hurt, shot, and needed to be triaged. And they did that. They were there before Providence. They would be there before Providence's rescue, long before that. So they triaged some of those students, and we don't know what happened. But if they didn't go in and do that and get them to the hospital as quick as they would get to the hospital, there may have been more casualties. That's information probably should have been passed down with the media.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. And then I have one.
Representative Budzina, please wait to be recognized by the chair again.
Sorry.
I'm gonna move on to the next question.
Okay, sorry.
Representative LaRose.
Hi,
Thank
my
you.
name's Judy. I just want to thank you guys for being here. I know what you do isn't easy. It's crazy times that we're living in. My question is about, this is a topic that's in the news, but also very prevalent in Providence locally. ICE is a really big issue right now. As a campus, what are your plans to keep students safe in the event that ICE shows up on campus?
I can touch on that because I've had communications with the special agent in charge of Homeland Security Operations. I've spoken to him a couple of times. I actually went down to the office in Warwick and met with him, with the chief of CCI, the former one, and the police chief at URI, to kind of, understand where they were going with this. And they made assurances to me they were not going to go on campus unless I was told about it. We've had some false alarms, and I've checked with them, and I said, no, that's absolutely not the case. We haven't been there. We would let you know before we came. And to be honest with you, trying to find someone on this campus, whether it be staff or a faculty or student, be like looking for somebody in a morgue. They wouldn't even know where to go. They wouldn't have any access to student records. So how are they going to find you? So it really is a difficult place for them to go. The two places they're going to go to is your house or where you work. That, if you have children, unfortunately, they've done it where they drop kids off at school and they've caught them in the sidewalk in the street, which I don't necessarily think that was the best approach to handle, but they haven't been on campus. They have no intention to come here. And if they do, we're going to know about it ahead of time. And if they come with a detainer, we can't honor that. It's not a warrant. It's not signed by the judge. We have no legal ability. We have no right to actually assist them on that. We just can't. Now, if it's a warrant, it's like any other warrant. Somebody's wanted for murder or robbery or anything like that, the warrant is different. But a lot of times, unfortunately, they are going to locations and they're using the detainers instead of the warrants. So as of right now, they have not been here on this campus.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Vice President Sullivan.
Hi, I'm Tess. I'm the vice president. Kind of echoing what Judy said. I appreciate all of the hard work, especially with like facilities and dealing with all the snow. I just appreciate all your help. My question is, so I have my internship at Johnson and Wales, and they last semester did like a drill, where they had the things you were talking about, where they had it come up on the screen. And I thought that was really helpful, even for me as like, I'm just an intern, but I know what to do if there is an issue. I know where to go in my office. Do you think that would be helpful to have here? And if not, like, why not?
Yes, and Janice can.
Sure, one of the things that we're looking to do myself in conjunction with the chief is to go to individual buildings, go to individual departments and talk about safety and where you would go in case of an emergency. We can't tell you 100% if you're right here, go right there, you're gonna be safe.
Mhm.
Our goal is to give you the best practices, help you think on your feet, because you are mobile all over this campus. If there's a threat, it's not going to be, you don't know exactly where you're going to be. So we want you to be able to think, take in your environment and think about where the safest place to be. We can't write a roadmap for you and give you, bullet lists on this is where you go if you're in this building. We need you to be able to think about safety and security and make those decisions on the fly. So that's part of the training that the chief and I are looking to do. There are best practices and we can help identify those. And that's one of those trainings that Anastasia mentioned that we're looking to put out both to faculty, staff and students.
Friend hide fight is basically the premise we go on. It's the best practice. That's what the FBI, Secret Service, they really push that, and that's what we follow. We do have a presentation, myself and the deputy chief put on several times with faculty, mainly some staff. I think we went to health services one time, and just recently we did it with the RAs. And it's about an hour with Q&A. I think you might have sat in one too, right? We're willing to do that anywhere, anytime. But we really, initially people want it, and then for whatever reason, it seems to fall through the cracks and we're not made available to do that. So Jan is gonna work on that, where we're just gonna publish a date. If you want to do it, sign up for it, be there, and we're gonna teach it. It's not really the best way to do it. It's best to go to certain locations where you're usually will be professors in certain classrooms. So they kind of get the layout of the land, and as we're talking, they can look around and look where the vulnerable areas are and how to best protect themselves. But what's different here than it was maybe when you were taught when you were in high school and middle school is the buildings were already locked down. You couldn't get in. A lot of times you had to go through one door and then that had a lock and you had to go through a second door in a lot of schools. So it was very tough to get into a lot of these schools. And if there was a lockdown, you were locked right in your classroom and you wouldn't release until the lockdown was, even was a drill or whatever it may be. Here it's different. You're adults. And these buildings are not necessarily designed as fortresses. They're built more for aesthetics. You notice a lot different than your high schools are. So we have to teach based on environments. And some of the stuff you learn could carry over to being in a movie theater, at the mall, or at a restaurant.
Thank you.
Thank you. So next we're gonna hear from Secretary Colonis, and then we're gonna hear from Representative Levis, and then we're gonna hear from Representative Ballesteros. I just didn't want you to keep having to hold your card. So Secretary Colonis.
Hi, my name is Marina. I'm the secretary. I just have a clarifying question on the swipe access, and where would that be? Would it be in all the academic buildings, or would that range from the recreation center and the athletic facilities?
We're gonna make it where all the buildings are eventually. We're gonna start with the academic buildings. I mean, we're gonna have to triage it, obviously, because there's 50 buildings on campus and we have to do all the buildings. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that, because as we go through this process, not every door will have a swipe card. So what we'll do is we'll start educating you on which doors, every door will always be able to get out, but getting in at certain times, I have a feeling during the day, especially between 8:30 and 4:30, we're gonna still be wide open. But what we'll do is you'll know where the swipe cards are and we're gonna have them be plentiful. It's not gonna be just one per building. It's gonna be, very targeted places around the campus to make sure. But the biggest thing is that we're gonna just make it where the doors can lock and unlock electronically. Because one, our campus police spend a lot of time locking and unlocking doors manually, but also so that in case if anything happened, we can hit a button and that locks the doors. So that makes it where it's harder for somebody to get in or go from a building to another building.
And the reason we really can't keep them locked 24 hours a day during school hours is if one person opens the door, 15, 20 people are gonna follow behind them. There's no way everybody's gonna wait in line to do it. It's just not gonna happen. Plus, everybody's taught to hold the door open. Somebody that's secure. Our parents always teach us how to do that. So you gotta add that. A lot of the colleges have the problem. They call it tailgating. And it just, plus, you know, if the threat is a faculty member or a student, they would have car swipe access anyway. So it might be defeat the purpose of doing that, but we might just during hours where there's less people on campus, we'll have to be more secure. I mean, we're gonna look at every possibility, and this is a layered approach. There's not one single thing we can do that's gonna solve the problem. There's no panacea. I want to make sure everybody understands that.
We're just trying to do the best things possible that we can.
Okay, thank you. Next, we're gonna hear from Representative Levis on the screen.
Hi, y'all.
Hey, Perry.
Hi, Anastasia. Thanks to the chief for being here. I had one point of clarification and one question. One point of clarification that as the chief discussed, that this piece of legislation has been introduced several times before. And I appreciate Anastasia's transparency that the administration is not taking sides, either supporting or not supporting the piece of legislation. But I do want to clarify that in prior legislation that the faculty and the American Federation of Teachers has taken a stand to not support arming our police on campus. And I don't know if we've already made a statement for this piece of legislation, but in prior years, we have voted and taken a stand around this issue. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew that. Secondly, I do want to question the chief about ICE, and at least I appreciate both Monica's question and Judy's question, because I think there are a number of faculty, and I don't want to speak to our diverse monolith of several hundred faculty, but I know that there are many of us who are concerned about ICE being on campus. So concerned the fact that many of us have locked keys to our classrooms, meaning that I can lock a classroom in so that people can't get in if they don't have appropriate warrants. So as we move through what is happening in our country, the Department of Homeland Security and ICE is not consistent. It is policies are changing, they are fast moving. And I think even if we have agreements that they will not come on campus without speaking to the chief first, I don't necessarily think that that is an agreement that's holding. And so I think that we have to be prepared to be able to have security for our students, not just security against intruders and guns, but also safety for our students who may be immigrants, whether or not they're documented or not documented. And I think that we cannot necessarily believe that what's happening in our country is not going to come to our campus here in Rhode Island. So the question for the chief is really, and Anastasia, is how do we actually make sure that we are keeping abreast of changes in policies and making sure that faculty and students are trained and aware to be able to keep each other safe. We had several trainings that faculty did for ourselves in the fall, but making sure that we are keeping up with that, I think, is really important. So that's my question for the chief.
Well, there is an ad hoc committee that was appointed back, I'm gonna say how many months ago now, I can't remember.
It was back in January, but that we're that's kind of changing.
That's changing. It'd be new people on
We're
it. but-
monitoring the federal. So here, this is the only thing I can say about Pet Perry is that we do monitor, the administration monitors our, the higher education community, all of our professional organizations related to HR, student success, et cetera, that has, communications and comments about the changes with ICE and the changes with immigration policy, and we're looking at all those things. The chief has at least tried to establish a relationship with them so that we
potentially can at least have more information, then we can't. I mean, again, we can't, nothing that we can do at this point is going to solve for every single problem. And we just have to admit to that all we can do, I mean, the college has made a stance of we're not providing information unless there's a warrant demanding us to do so. We're not gonna provide any information about students' whereabouts or anything like that unless we have a warrant and it's all been verified and things like that. So like the college is doing everything we can to protect records, to make sure we don't collect information that we don't need to have. As another way of us, so that we don't know anything. Like we're purposely trying to do things so that we can actually respond by not having anything to respond with. I hate to say this, Cindy, do you have anything you want to say about it? I mean,
By law and by FERPA, we can't give out.
Information.
And it's not just a warrant, it's a warrant signed by a judge.
Right.
Right.
Cause you can
These
get warrants that
administrative
aren't
warrants,
signed
they're
by a
not,
judge.
they're not, they're administrative warrants, they call them, it's someone else in administration that signed these. They're not, we can't act on them, even if we wanted to, we can't, we have no legal right to act on them. So it has to be a judicial warrant, just like Cindy said.
But I also think there has been some cars that, whether they, or who don't know who they are, that have ICE stickers or things like that. And I think the piece that we all need to do is make sure if we see or hear that ICE is here, that we call campus police meeting.
88.
Cause I'll verify it. We've gotten calls where one person calls another, and calls me. By the time I get us an hour later and we don't even know what we're looking for. One instant, it was a Japanese car, Kia, or whatever it was, a dark colored vehicle, and they had an ICE logo on it, like a Homeland Security. We finally found the vehicle. It wasn't registered to any government agency. There was some person that lived in Rhode Island, for whatever reason, they bought this transparent sticker you can get on, Amazon or whatever it may be, Etsy, and just stick it on there. Why these things are being sold, I have no idea. Did it scare a lot of people? It absolutely did. But we look into these matters to verify. And this situation, it wasn't immigration enforcement, it wasn't the FBI, DA, or any other federal agency here conducting any immigration enforcement.
But if I could also just say, in addition to ICE, all the emails that keep coming out about, oh, I didn't get called.
No. If you're giving a point of order, so like you're adding information that you think is relevant, or you have a question, you don't need to be recognized by me. You can just say point of information, not point of order. Point of information.
Point of information is, in addition to discussions about ICE, I think the conversations and the emails that have gone out about if you see something, say something, is that we can't push that more for students, is that you all know who is in our community, who is not. If you see someone that doesn't look like they belong here, we need to let someone know right away. And whether that is someone, your faculty member, your staff member, calling campus police, but it's important that we all think about that. And I want to use the residence halls, and many of you are residents. It's really easy, all the buildings are locked. But sometimes we want to be the nice person. And if I'm going and Mike's behind me, I let him trail behind me. Unless we know, we shouldn't be letting other people into our buildings if these buildings are locked. So I just hope that we will think about all these things every day. And as our reps, if you could be passing this to our other students as well, if there's something that looks odd to you, say something. You all have good guts. You have good intuition.
One last point of information on this topic. I would also say this. We use community policing on this campus. We are not trying to be enforcers unless it's absolutely necessary. You can trust to call the campus police if you're worried about something. I think it would be better for you to trust us on that the campus police, I mean, we're going to do the right thing. We're going to investigate the situation, but we're not going to act on something unless we are 100% sure we know what we're doing. And I just really want to emphasize that. I know it hasn't always been that way for people who've been around for a while, but we are really, really actively using community policing, and we want to be the place that you feel comfortable calling, because again, if we don't know, we can't help you, or we can't help.
If we can verify it, it makes everybody feel a lot safer, because what's equally damaging is false information floating out there. fear mongering. That's very dangerous. I don't know if anybody know, prior to me being here, 7 years I've been here. I was in Central Falls for 28 years. I was a police chief there for about 10. So obviously I was working in a community that was horrified by a lot of these things that were going on there. People didn't want to leave their homes. So I dealt with it. I know what the experience. I've had many meetings with community members, trying to make them feel a little bit more comfortable. And so putting out false information, which a lot of people do, is very dangerous. It changes how people want. They're gonna be afraid to come to classes if they feel that ICE is gonna be here every day looking for them. So the fact that they never have been, that should give them some peace. They're probably more safer here in that situation than they may even be in their own community living in. So if you hear anything, if you see anything, let us know. We can look into it. We can verify whether it's true or not.
Thank you. Next, we're gonna hear from Representative Ballesteros.
Hello, I'm Josh Ballesteros. I'm a freshman here. And my question is in regards to the Brown shooting, and you guys mentioned the idea of like being proactive and versus reactive. Obviously, it's one thing to make these. It's obviously one thing to minimize like what kind of like tragedy like could happen, not just like hypothetically, because obviously we see these things a lot in this country. And it's always a good idea to be more proactive than reactive on these kinds of things. And I think we could all agree on that. But I also want to make a point that it was also discussed after more and more news came out that there was casing regarding the shooting by the shooter, and like just looking around and just searching around on campus, trying to make the best route for causing as much suffering as possible by the shooter. And so something like that, it would probably be a proactive issue, as well as just generally what else like a bad actor could be trying to do to like cause harm on campus. So my question is, what exactly could be done beyond like the legislation we see now with arming the campus safety, the campus police? Beyond that, what other proactive measures could be done in regards to preventing these kinds of things, whether on the part of students or on the part of administration?
That's a fantastic question. And there's been many times where a professor who probably knows you better than anybody, right? They see you every day. They know where you sit. They know if you interact, they're aware of the grade. I mean, in other words, is if you start out in the front of the class, very interactive, right? Grades are high. And over time, all of a sudden, you can sit in the back, you're not interacting with the class, you come in disheveled, your grades are going down. There's a problem. Can we all agree with that? What's causing the problem? We don't know. It could be some mental health issue. Maybe someone who's supposed to be on medication, they stop taking it. There's all kinds of things. Now, if they're alarmed by that, you let us know, right? So is there a possibility that student may hurt themselves or somebody else? We don't know. But for sure, we all know is someone needs some intervention, they need some help. So that communication is very important, whether we hear it from a staff member, faculty member, another student, so we can intervene very quickly. And we've had many instances here. The dean of students is well aware of that. We've acted on these things very quickly. And if it's a commuter student, we'll send a local police department there to check on them and do a well-being check. So if you live in Central Falls or Coventry, we contact those agencies, look into them. And you'd be surprised how better they feel. Just the fact that somebody took some action to care about them. And that changes things. And then we follow up with our own health services. I mean, our counseling services will follow up the following day to make sure they get whatever help they may need. We don't know what would have happened if we didn't intervene. So those things are very important. And so that brings to your point. But if we see anything unusual, anything suspicious, people are acting differently, unusual, you let us know. We look into that, and we have other community partners that we can work with to try to get to the bottom of what the issue may be. And it's not always a student. It could be a faculty member. It could be a staff member. And we've intervened many times, but someone had to tell us something.
I guess I want to say one more thing too, but we are an open campus. Y'all know this, especially when the weather is warm and even when it's not so warm. We have people in our neighborhoods that walk their dogs on campus and stuff like that. There's a lot of people who walk through Rick. College Road is a through road. We actually have more traffic on College Road that doesn't belong to Rick than actually belongs to Rick. So yes, I mean, I would just say situational awareness, take the trainings, learn to look around and see if you see something that looks off, feels off and whatever. And then if you need to say something. But I'm also gonna say this, it's harder for us because we are a wide open campus. We are part of our neighborhood. Again, people walk their dogs, so it's hard to know for sure if a person is just walking through campus to walk their dogs. And we are, because we're a state property, we can't like block it off and say people can't come here. So I just want to put that out there too, but we are trying to be a lot more aware. That's why we're looking at our security of our doors. We're looking at our cameras and things like that, so that if you see somebody, we can look and we think somebody's acting weird, we can pull it on our cameras and look and find where they've been and try to figure that stuff out.
I want to just add this one thing, because I know it's very controversial, the flock cameras, because there's an there's a AI capability with them where they just don't photograph the plate. So the parts of the vehicle, like in other words, if we're looking for a blue vehicle, Ford, whatever, we can type the information on, and every single blue Ford that's been on the campus will have information on. We can narrow it down to a dent, missing hubcap, a bicycle in the back of it. So we put the information in and it tells us, it gives us a list of the vehicles that fit that description. It's not connected with the registry. They have the vendor doesn't have that information. As soon as we determine what the license plate is, we contact the DMV, we run it, and we can find out who the owner is. And the reason I want to bring this up is that once the Providence Police Department, the FBI determined the shooter Brown, the vehicle that person was driving, they had that license plate and they put it into the flock system. If he would have drove on our campus, we would have known about it immediately. We were the only college in the state of Rhode Island would have had that information as soon as the vehicle passed into our college. And as soon as we would known that, obviously we would contact every single police department around, converge to arrest that person if in fact he was here. We've used it for students or staff members that left, they've been fired, whatever it may be. If we feel that there may be some retribution or they left under extreme circumstances where they were, not violent but threatening, we can take their license plate, put it in the system. Anytime they're on the college, we'll know about it. So it defends us in that respect as well. If it's a stolen car, the vehicle was involved in a robbery, as soon as it comes onto the campus, we'll know that information in advance. So we can pick up on threats such as that before any other college can. You have another question to follow up with that?
Thank you.
Okay.
And
Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
sorry, and is there, you might have just answered my question, but would that also pertain to like if there's anything like to do about like if there's any casing by someone where they're like scouting around, and because obviously in a few hours can make a big difference, but at the same time, a few hours is different than like a few weeks or something, and obviously.
I was gonna say that's harder to pick out. I mean, we would need somebody to notice it. I hate to say that, and tell us that they're looking for that person, and then again, we can look on our cameras and see if we can see suspicious behavior. But that's a lot hard. Finding someone casing the campus is not gonna be something that we're ever gonna be able to pick up on unless somebody notices it and says something. But if you say something, then we're gonna look into it.
If anybody sees anything that tells us anything suspicious about any person, even if we don't find them, they're gone by the time we show up. We can, from that description, we still have 727 cameras that we can look to and try to find the individual and then track the person's movements. Now, they've been walking around in circles for a while. It could be harmless, but maybe they're just waiting for an Uber to come pick them up. But it could be something else too. So that's very helpful, but somebody has to let us know. We may not always see the suspicious activity. Sometimes it does have to be brought to our attention.
I'm just saying, we don't have the ability to monitor 700 cameras. We have them to help us, but it's not like they're being monitored at all times and we can see that someone's doing something. We're very still dependent on all of you telling us something.
Thank you. We're getting closer to that 8 o'clock time where you all know I kind of like to end these speaker segments so we can get on to other business and not be here till 11 o'clock. So we're going to hear from President DiGregorio. If we have a little bit of time after that, maybe we'll hear a second or another question. But President DiGregorio, you have the floor.
I know most of you already, but I'll introduce myself. I'm Dante. My question was about the accessibility buttons outside of the buildings. So if we end up introducing swipe cards, are you gonna have to swipe first and then you'll be able to get access to the button?
Yeah.
Okay, that was it.
We'll have to put a swipe thing next to the button so that you can swipe, hit the button and the door will open.
Okay, got it.
Thank you. Representative Pacheco.
I'm gonna fly through some of these things because I have a few things that came up. I'll, get to you guys after. So,
Representative Pacheco.
yeah,
I mean,
I know we're short
going
on
straight
time.
on
I'm gonna
time.
be quick.
If there's one really pinnacle question, I would encourage that.
Well, okay, first of all, with the swipe access and locking down campus, it does, I just thought like you thought some of the things about like if they have access, it doesn't really stop things. But also if there's an incident in an open space, it prevents people from being able to shelter in the the closest building. So like how to maintain that in a way that like it makes sense. And also, if you're a student in a particular section, it doesn't mean you wouldn't want to attend an event in another building.
No, it would, so what we would, if we did that, so number one, I wanna be clear. We're just trying to make it where we could do it. I am not saying that we're taking that posture, even though I will tell you, I have gotten several emails from many students who've actually told me that's what they want. We're not going there yet. I just wanna be able to if we could. But what would happen is as a student, you would have perimeter access, which means any classroom building, the library, let's say this building, whatever, you would be able to get into any of those buildings. It's not gonna be specified by major or where you're taking your classes or anything like that. If you're a student, you can get into any building that a student can get into. And we would tell you, and if we were ever gonna take that posture, we would tell you exactly what those buildings are and whatever, because I don't wanna prevent you from to be able to shelter either. We're just trying to make it where if you're in a building, that you would have someplace that you could get to safely if that person didn't have access. And I mean, again, none of this is perfect. We're just trying to have options.
Okay. And
Representative Pacheco, please wait to be recognized by the chair again. I mean, when you speak and ask your question and then you allow for the speaker to answer, you technically forfeit, like you're holding up the floor. So we got a little bit of time left. Representative Howlett, you have a question?
I do.
Okay.
So I just want to first of all say, I know these are some heavy topics and I really appreciate the nuance and care that you all are bringing. I have a little bit of a concern when it comes to the flock camera data access. I know that you're talking about how you're gonna go see that facility up close, right? When you're saying that you're maybe gonna show the problem. I'm sure we're clear together. So my concern, I know we're also talking about ICE previously, but how that data would be potentially being used, even if it seems like it's secure when you visit, how will that potentially work in the future? So I know that you can't answer those questions because it's not clear. I'm curious about if that will be a decision that you will all individually make, or if that'll be put out to the general campus, and or it'll just fall into like a terms and conditions.
So let's put it this way. We will taking this to the executive team, and I'll just be honest, President Warner's gonna make a call about who all's gonna have input into that. I mean, there's gonna probably be a lot of people that have input, and again, I don't know how broadly he's gonna wanna take that. We're the fact finders. We go get information, and then I take that to the executive team, which includes Vice President Kozel, and then that group of people, and then the president will make a determination of how much input he wants to have on that. He has made the comment that we're gonna probably err towards this concept of safety. I do know that according to the contract and the things that I have heard and seen so far, we have an ability to opt out at any time. But I will also tell you this, and I'm just sharing this piece of information with you. There are flock cameras in Providence and North Providence outside the entrances to our campus anyway. So if they didn't get you on ours, they're getting you probably as you're coming down Fruit Hill or coming down Mount Pleasant. I'm only saying that just to say we're not the only people in Providence to have flock cameras. So unfortunately, I mean, I understand your privacy concerns. Please know I have them too. But I also recognize that as long as I carry this device in my hand, I am findable by anybody, anytime, anywhere.
I know this thing listens to me, because if I say something, all of a sudden the advertisement pops up. So I believe that this thing is listening to me all the time.
But I don't want, when I say that, I don't want you to think in any way I am not taking your concerns seriously. We are all trying to figure out right now, and this is a very strange time because of Brown, because of a lot of things. When it happens closer to home, all of a sudden you get a more personal feel to it all. We're trying to figure out the balance between providing you with every option to be safe and to have data to make you safer, or to at least be able to find the person who does something wrong if they do something wrong, so that you don't have 4 days of being scared like we were with the Brown situation where we didn't know where that guy was, you know?
I was scared and I live in Providence. I live 6 blocks off Brown. So I hear you. But so we're trying to figure out the balance between safety and privacy. So we're trying to be very thoughtful. So we're just getting information.
Flock, I'm gonna reiterate that all it holds is license plates. It doesn't have any personal information. It's just a photograph of your car. If you're driving, if you speed, you got a camera that'll pick up the fact you're speeding. If you run to a stop sign, it'll take a picture of you. I mean, these cameras all over the place that are taking photographs of our cars. It doesn't have personal information. It only has a picture of the vehicle and the license plate. Otherwise, I'd be really concerned too, to be quite honest with you, if we let a vendor have people's personal information. I don't think I'd be supportive of that because I don't think I'd want them to have my information either, because you don't know what they would be doing with it.
Okay, thank you. Representative Chico has a point of information, and then I'm gonna let you guys give some concluding thoughts if you have any, and then we're gonna wrap up. So Representative Chico.
So Flock does build dossiers on people's personal information. That's 100% a thing that they do.
They do
And
not
it's-
have any personal information.
They do. They correlate with places like Walmart, Target. They have their own databases about it. And any information that goes onto your servers, according to a Washington state case, is Freedom of Information Act requestable. So you don't actually have the ability to keep any info. Providence doesn't, no one does in any government facility. Anyone could access that information if they desire to look for it and have enough information to put a FOIA request out about.
But we are gonna redact all personal information if we did have it. We wouldn't allow
We
that.
can't control what Flock does with it.
Representative Chico, let him give his answer, and then they'll have concluding thoughts. Anything else?
So that's all I have.
All right. Well, if you guys have any last words.
I would just say, if you have any questions going forward, you can use the BPAF email address. I'm a.rodriguez@ric. Email me, ask the question. I'm happy to answer it. If y'all ever want us to come back and answer more questions, again, happy to do so. We're living in very strange and interesting times. I'm just trying to be nice about it. It's scary times too. And please know we are trying to play the balance of trying to keep the campus safe and do the right things to secure the campus and to take care of our students. And, but it's hard to know exactly the right thing to do. And so we're just trying to gather as much information and do the best we can. And again, like the chief said, there's no panacea. There's no answer that we can just say that if we do these things, we're going to do it. And also know that everything that we're doing right now, we're also going to have a company that's going to come in sometime in the next 12 months and give us additional information and giving us an assessment of what we're doing to get a third party tell us what we're, where we are and what we're doing. And so I think, but any thoughts y'all have, we're happy to hear them. Okay.
Thank you. Jenna Lawrence.
Point of information, how would somebody, so if somebody like didn't get to ask a question tonight, or if they come up with something later, how do they jump to you?
When you put a list of questions together, you can send it all together and we can just answer them and send them back to you. You want to do that?
Or like I said, vpaf@ric.edu. I don't check it every day, but we check it a couple times a week. And then again, my personal email address at Ric is arodriguez@ric. It's RODRIGUEZ @ric. Again, I will also say the Dean of Students, Vice President Kozel, Mike Ward, they all know how to find me. If you want to find me, I am findable. You can ask me anything and they know I will spend as many hours as you want answering.
But if you give us collective questions, you all have
Yeah, we'll answer
ability to
them.
get the answers to all those questions.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do anything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. So Jenna Lawrence, Anastasia Rodriguez, and James Mendoka. I want to thank you for coming in tonight, for addressing Parliament, for your transparency and your insights. Let's give them a round of applause. Yeah.
I just want. I got
All right, we're gonna move on. Oh. Yes. Oh. We're gonna move on to open forum. No one's here for open forum. So we're gonna move off of open forum and on to officers' announcements. First, I yield the floor to President DiGregorio.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back for the first meeting of the semester. I'm super excited to be here. First of all, I'd like to start by saying thank you for the cheesecake. I was not expecting that, and it was very good. I hope everyone had a good break. The e-board did a lot of exciting work over this break, and I'm excited to hear for them to tell you about everything that they did. I'm really proud of everything we did last semester and that all of the work you guys did last semester. And I'm excited to keep it going. We plan on getting a lot of things done, and you're gonna get hit with a lot of information today, including what we just heard. So try and just stick through it, make sure you're paying attention to what everyone's talking about. I'd like to thank the speakers for coming today. They were both very helpful. It was terrible to see what happened at Brown, especially because it hit so close to home. And safety was something that I prioritized as part of my agenda this year. And I was very lucky to have the opportunity to meet with Anastasia and Jana about both of these issues before this tragedy ever occurred. So we really appreciate the work that they've been putting in, as well as the chief. And I appreciate all of your considerate questions that you guys had over such a serious subject. Miguel and I are planning to meet with the provost to discuss study abroad and the cost of textbooks. We also need a student representative on the undergraduate curriculum committee and 2 students on President Warner's new task force on AI. And I have the charter if anyone's interested in that. I also understand that a lot of people are not going to be able to be on the same committees as they were last semester. So if you can email me directly on which committees you can't be on anymore, so that you can resign from them, do that. And also so we can put you onto a new committee. Also, I'd like to lastly announce that you can shadow any of us e-board members if you're interested in our positions. The semester is going to go by fast, and before you know, we're going to be out of here. So if you're interested in stepping up, take advantage of the opportunity. I yield the floor.
All right, thank you. I'm going to yield the floor to Vice President Sullivan.
Hi, everybody. That was great. Great. Okay, cool. So I just have a couple of announcements. First up is Deputy Speaker Jack Doyle isn't with us. Jack Doyle is not Deputy Speaker anymore. He helped me with my radio show today. He's still around. Doesn't matter. Deputy Speaker sign-ups are today. I have the paper. It'll go around later. The election's going to be on the 11th of February, and the declaration is going to be open from today until next week. I'm going to pass it around the paper and it's time, but just so if you're unsure tonight, you don't have to make a decision tonight. You have a week to make that decision. Also, Election Commission, if you are like looking for something to do 3 to 4 on Wednesdays, please join Elections Commission. Also, if you have friends who aren't in Parliament, please get them to join Elections Commission. Perry Levis, I sent you an email today. If you could tell your students who aren't in Parliament to join, that'd be really helpful. Next one is about PER. Okay, first one, shout out Jason and shout out Marcus for being the first people to do the takeovers. Those are going a lot better than I kind of thought they were going to. And so a bunch of you signed up, so I hope you've been kind of like keeping up, seeing what they've been doing. Those have been like perfect examples. I will send you a notification the week before you have to do it. So you'll be prepared and I can help you with that process, but it's been really simple, right? Marcus has been doing great today. Dell sign up. Okay, wait, first of all, thank you, Malcolm and Kai, for doing the involvement fair today. That was super helpful. I really appreciate you guys just getting that done. So more just really everybody stepping up and getting more involved in SCG. It makes just everything go a lot smoother. Okay, I'm gonna pass around the sheet. This is for Dell's. I called it Drink and Think. I don't know, I'm workshopping names. But if you could put your names on here. If you don't put your name on here, I'm gonna find you, for lack of better words, and I'm gonna email you. And then you won't really get the one you want to pick. So just please do it now so it's out of your way. Also, you'll notice under all of the dates, it has like a little like thing in parentheses. We're gonna try and do surveys. So like when John did it, he had it so like, or we when you had to like take a survey to get the Dells, so I wanna do that again. And so we have a bunch of different topics, so if you're like, oh, I'm really passionate about advising, you might wanna sign up for that day. Cool? Okay, so I'm gonna start passing this around. Don't steal my pen, please. Last thing for PR, I hope you all saw Dante's birthday post on the Instagram. No, here's the situation. If you want your birthday to be posted on the Instagram story, like how Dante's, it's gonna look the same way, just a different photo, and it's gonna say your name instead of Dante's. Know that Dante picked that photo. Ask me. So send me whatever photo you want. We'll post anything apparently. Tell me what photo you want and what the date is, and I can post that out for you. No pressure at all if you don't want your birthday on the internet. Totally understandable. SCC, guys, it's happening. JT's coming. Yay! This has been a passion project of mine for the past 3 years, and I actually can't believe it's happening. First of all, I want to say thank you so much to Ted so much. He's helped me so much with this process, and can I get a round of applause for Ted? But JT coming, so please get the word out about tickets. I already got where the 38 tickets were sold today, in less than 12 hours. So that's really good. But please just keep telling all the people you know. There's gonna be the link. I can send an email out after this meeting with the link. If you can just share it with everybody, like just keep sharing it and sharing it and sharing it. That just makes my life a lot better. Last thing, conference sign up. Forever ago during break, I sent an email about the Bryant Student Government Conference. I have some people who already signed up. I got Alex, I got Malcolm, I got Alex Hallett. If you are still interested in doing that, find that email. It's labeled, it's from break, but it's about the Bryant Summit. Just respond to that email. And if you're those people I just named who are going to do it, please email me if you have any allergies, because I think they're gonna feed you guys. So yeah, if you have today or tomorrow at midnight is your last time to sign up, and then I'm gonna submit the thing to go to there. And that's all from me. I yield the floor back to Speaker Tomine.
Okay, thank you. Before I yield the floor to Secretary Colonis, Josh, there are seats over here, if you want.
I wanted to sit with, I'm not saying I have closer friends than the rest, but like, I
Oh,
would
yeah.
sit nice next to my
Okay.
friends. You're all my friends, but you know what I mean.
Sounds good, okay, all right, I yield the floor to Secretary Colonis.
Everyone, hi, Thomas. Like Dante said, I'm open to anyone shadowing me this semester. Unfortunately, student teaching's next semester, so if anyone wants to shadow me this semester, please let me know. That being said, SOC this semester is from 12 to 1 on Tuesdays. If anyone's interested in joining, we're welcome non-parliament, parliament members, so please join. Also, just to keep on your radar, we have 2 clubs kind of going in the works right now. We have like a Armenian Greek dancing club and an education student association starting up. So if that's something you're maybe interested in, reach out to me and I can put you in contact with those people. All I got. I yield the floor back.
Okay, thank you. I yield the floor to Treasurer Hoyos.
Well, so the budget request is open for all clubs to complete. The deadline is this Friday. So if you guys are part of any clubs, or if you know anybody who's on the e-board of a club, just make sure that like you, I don't know, advocate for them to submit their budget request, because that's how they get funding next year. That's how they become uncapped clubs, where they can ask for as much money as they want within reason next school year. And because if they don't request money for next year now, they will have a limit of $3,500 next school year. So yeah, all clubs that are active right now should be going through that process and should be submitting by this Friday. And then I also wanted to mention anybody that's interested in e-board, like let us know. Even though all 5 of us are graduating, like we're just, or leaving. There's no, like, we're trying to set it up for the next people to do more than what we could have done. And that was like what we got before us. And I'm sure that's what they got handed to them. So, know that like SCG continues and we need good people to take up our spots next year.
Sorry.
So we will need you guys to shadow us so that you can do great things next year. That's all. I yield the floor back to Speaker Tommy.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna do my announcements next, so I yield the gavel to President DiGregorio.
Thank you.
Let's see. Well, welcome back, everyone. I already said that. Over the course of break, I took a introduction to being a parliamentarian, Robert's Rules course. So you might see me implementing more rules or being a little bit more strict. I'm not trying to be what's the word where I don't use profanity?
Jerk.
I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I'm trying to make sure everyone gets a chance to speak. So I'm not trying to call anyone out anyway. Let's see what else. I hope you guys are enjoying the desserts. Looks like Miguel is. He grabbed like 5.
He treated himself.
Yourself. Did not get the.
Man, I had something else on my mind.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna be doing leaves during my announcements anymore. Robert's Rules of Order, 12th edition, newly revised, doesn't, well, I think any of the orders or additions don't actually require leaves be approved by Parliament. So you still need to reach out to me. I just approve them on my own. I have a leave register where I keep track of who's requested leaves and that they're approved by me. So we don't have to do that part of the meeting. I don't think I have anything else. Yeah, okay.
I yield the floor back to you.
You have the gavel.
I yield the gavel.
All right, thank you. Yep, no deputy speaker. So we are gonna move on to constitutions and organization conference report. So, Unit Colon, or Secretary Colonis, I yield the floor to you, Turning Point USA.
All right, so they're not here.
Wait, really?
What? We're gonna get into this a little bit later, but when we get to the SOC policy, but we are gonna have something written out in like our bylaws. So this doesn't occur again with another club, but they're not here, so.
One more.
Floor back.
Okay, thank you. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
it is gonna go back. I yield the floor back to you for reports.
Ping pong.
We are gonna go over the student organization committee
Oh,
meeting
okay,
minutes.
so not much later, okay, so right now. All right, so it's gonna be it's gonna be in red.
Minutes.
Oh, we're doing minutes,
Minutes.
okay, sorry.
So bad. And Secretary Colonis,
Yes.
I'm gonna do the motions and the whole gavelly thing.
Do we-
So
Yep.
just present them, let people know what there is, and we can pass them all at once, as long as there's no errors. So, yeah. Floor is yours.
Need to go through this whole agenda real quick. I'm sure you guys are all doing that right now too. Okay, starting with the minutes from September 19th. You guys wanna look at those? Guys, I'm so sorry. September 19th. That was good. You did say check. So we're not having this conversation right now. That's not. The soft minute there. Does anyone need more time? Are we good? Well,
So everyone had enough time who's on these committees to look through them all and see that their name is listed one final time. Take your silence as a yes. I'm seeking a motion to approve the student organization committee minutes from September 19th, 2025, October 3rd, 2025, October 17th, 2025, November 14th, 2025, and December 5th, 2025. Okay, motion by Representative Mann, seconded by Representative Ballesteros. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, meeting minutes approved.
All right, next we have October 3rd.
Oh, I just did them all.
We just did them all?
Yeah, I said that.
Okay, never mind. Okay. I thought we were going through.
No.
Okay, that's even better. So did everyone?
Active listen. Well, we're gonna move on to old business now. Oh, we amended that. There's no old business. We're gonna move on to new business. So, me and Miguel are gonna give a student parliament presentation. So I yield the gavel to President Di Gregorio.
Heard what I said.
I can, yeah.
Reading election. Oh, no, it could pass.
Perry, would it be helpful if you,
So I.
if you shared screens, you could also see the presentation?
Yeah, Nikita, that'd be great.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
You guys figure it out.
Okay, there's a thing in the way. Well, above parliament member, it says how to be a. So how to be a parliament member for dummies. I'm not calling any dummies. Just to be clear. Okay, overview. Why are we giving this presentation? Well, we wanted to clarify the responsibilities of student parliament members. We wanted to provide clear pathways to fulfill all these responsibilities. And we wanted to present, the purpose and the conditions of receiving a stipend. Y'all are getting paid to be here under certain conditions. Everything we're going to present here, you can find in these SCG policies. The stuff isn't coming out of thin air. So yeah, it's all on the website. It's all findable. Some of these responsibilities are things that really haven't been enforced or even really recognized in the last couple of years. So, in the effort to make Parliament as productive as it can be and to give you guys fulfilling jobs and to make sure you're really earning your pay, we're giving this presentation. You're on the next slide. So there's a couple of these. This is the first slide. One, present at Parliament meetings. I'll get into like absences later, because obviously you guys get absences. 3, serve on at least one corporation committee. That means an SCG committee, and serve on one college committee. You represent your constituencies and you act in the best interest as the student body as a whole. At the end of the day, you guys are representatives of the student body, like Congress members, but for Rick. You must obtain the floor before speaking. That's by putting up your name card and being called upon by the chair, me. Avoid speaking on any matter till it's properly brought before Parliament by motion. If it's not, then it's not germane to the motion at hand, to the question pending. Germane just means that's relevant. It's related. Oh yeah, that's the next word. Keep discussion germane to the question pending. The question pending is a motion. It's just like another name for it. And then yield the floor to a call for order. A call for order is if you guys are all like hooting and hollering, I would bang the gavel and go order, like order in the court. Ideally, everyone would settle down. Yeah, okay. Next slide. Is this one yours? Okay, you got the next one. Avoid disturbing speakers at Parliament in any way. Asking questions is not disturbing speakers, but interrupting them is. Attend town hall meetings that are organized by student community government. If we ever have any, we will have some. Present or co-sponsor at least one resolution to Parliament before sign die for academic year. Sign die is the last meeting of the year. A resolution, for those who don't know, is a formal process to bring forth a solution you have to any given issue on campus. It's a way to go, hey, here is a solution I have. You can co-author it with people, so multiple people can sign on to it and work on it together. You know, the purpose ideally being to, you know, improve Rhode Island college student life. That's what you guys are ideally doing. Present to Parliament one report before Sinai about your progress helping accomplish Parliament's goals or improving Rhode Island College. This report could just be, you know, maybe something you did an effort in a committee, in a college committee, or a way you helped a student on campus, or any way that you've represented it, you know, SCG in the best manner. And then the last bullet point is representing SCG and events like orientation, the open house, accepted students day, conferences, Tess Sullivan, the Dell's cards, and social media campaigns.
Double whammy.
Yeah. Okay. Next slide. I think that's you, Miguel.
Yeah.
Treasurer Reynolds.
And then Accepted Students Day is coming up in April. So we'll need people to table for that for SCG. That's all right, so our last responsibility slide, it's everyone's responsibility to know, to be familiar with the bylaws of SCG and all of our policies and procedures. That's important when we talk about clubs that we're taking on. That's important when we go through the budget process. That's important when we're at meetings and you want to speak. There's policy for that, but I'm sure most people haven't read it. I didn't read it until a few months ago, and I've been on here for over a year. And then recognize the Speaker of Parliament as the primary enforcer of rules and regulations. Like Ben said, you've already seen him doing it more tonight because he took that course over break to learn more about being a chair and like the rules that come along with that and their rights. And then each of us need to be conducting ourselves as a representative of student parliament in everything that we do. So everywhere you go, every person you talk to, you guys or we are representing SCG. So make sure that you're being appropriate, that you're giving a good name to SCG because we have good relationships with the college and we want to have good relationships with other student governments, so that we want to maintain that. And then understand the consequences of holding the position of representative member of student parliament, and then all of the responsibilities that your position entails. So, and we just went through all the responsibilities.
Okay, rights of parliament members. These are your rights. You may offer any motion relevant to SCG, to committees, to commissions, to ad hoc committees, clubs or organizations, and the student body. Really anything RIC or SCG related. Call to order if necessary. If things are out of order and for a reason I'm not calling on it, you can go order. Doesn't have to just be me. Hold the floor when legally obtained. This is when you have the chance to speak. And until finished speaking. And lastly, appeal the decision of the chair to Parliament when the situation so calls. So if you disagree with a ruling I've made, you think it's incorrect, you think it goes against Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised 12th edition, something like that, you can appeal it, which is saying you disagree, and then there's a process we will follow to vote on that and make that appeal if it is just and correct. Is there anything else you got there? Oops. Oh, black, yeah. Okay, attendance expectations. Each member must be present for 2 roll calls. There's one at the beginning of the meeting, and there's one at the end of the meeting. If a member is not present for both roll calls, barring they requested like a late leave or an early leave, they'll be marked absent. Each member has a maximum of 3 leaves of absence per semester. In the case of illness, official business at the corporation, which could be like visiting another student or another school's parliament, something like that, or any pressing personal matters that you have. So you have 3. The unexcused absence from more than 1 regular parliament meeting or more than 2 special meetings during any one semester is considered equivalent to resignation. And lastly, committee members may be expelled from their committee for unexcused absence, from 3 or more meetings in any one semester. So. Yeah, okay, a little more lenient, you know, on the committees. But it's important that you guys be here. When you sign on, when you join SCG, you get your petition done and you come here, you are holding a seat that someone else could have, someone else who may be, you know, equally, what's the word? Qualified is a word.
Oh.
No, that's the right word. I'm at a blank. But someone who's eager to be here. So by coming in and going, well, maybe I want to go hang out with my friends instead. You're gonna request a leave of absence. You know, that's not really what this is about. But there are cases, obviously, illness, business of the corporation, and pressing personal matters. Okay. I guess.
Yeah, just to check in with everyone, do you have any questions so far about your responsibilities or rights? Marcus?
Yeah.
Representative Rocha.
Thank you. I was just curious what the difference is between corporation committees and college committees and which of our committees on.
Oh, with like absences?
No, not absences, like, because it says you need to be in at least one corporation,
Oh.
one
College committee? I can answer that. You can answer that.
So our corporation committees are the committees of SCG that SCG e-board members chair. So Tess has
You got it.
Ben has bylaws. The vice president, Tess, has public relations and elections. The secretary, Marina, that's not an SCG committee. SCC is a SCG committee right now. It's an ad hoc, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the secretary, Marina, has student organizations committee. I have the finance commission. And then the deputy speaker, when whoever gets elected, will have conditions and services to take on. And then the college has a bunch of committees, like academic committees, and that's actually on the next slide. I guess I can go into that. So there's academic committees and boards, and then search committees and committee for scholarship, faculty scholarship and development. So I'm not sure which ones like students are eligible to be on, but I know that students are able to be on like most of them. And then if you talk to Cindy or Ted because you think one is interesting, I'm sure that they can help you get on if you are in the right, like you're joining for the right reasons. And then this link, the second link, has the membership of all of Rick's college committees. This is all from the Rick website. So this has the chair of each committee and then the members. So you guys can also reach out to the committee chair to ask about the committee. And then everybody can click. So I'm going to share this presentation to you all after tonight. And you guys will be able to click on this college committee sign up sheet, and I'll show you right now. So there are already some appointments that Dante has made. And as you can see, there are a lot of vacancies. Not everybody was on a college committee last semester or in the past. And I didn't penalize anybody for that because we weren't enforcing it. But this semester, if you're not on one college committee as well as one SCG committee, you will be penalized by forfeiting your pay. So you guys can go into the spreadsheet, put your name in to a committee you think is interesting, and then Dante can take this spreadsheet and make official appointments based off that instead of everybody individually going to Dante. Obviously, if you guys have questions, like Dante's.
How do we get there?
I will send you this slideshow and you can just click on the link.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And I'd like to reiterate that the college committees, it's important that we're on them, so there's student representation. They don't happen all the time. The committee I'm on met once last semester. So while it may seem like, oh, there's this whole other committee I gotta join, it's not a huge commitment, that's the word.
Are there any other questions about what we've talked about so far?
Representative Budzina.
You guys kind of touched upon it, but this is like a commuter school, so people have like responsibilities outside of here, so I don't really. I just don't really think it's in everyone's best interest to penalize students that just don't really have the time for another committee.
Yeah, so like Ben mentioned, the college committees meet like rather infrequently, like I'm on the undergraduate advising committee and I have been for the past year, and I've been to one meeting and then I missed one because I had a doctor's appointment. And that was it. Sometimes it's like whatever's relevant at that time. The bookstore committee is another one. Yeah, so it's not like a lot of extra work we're asking for. And this is straight out of your stipend policy. You guys all signed that you're gonna do this. And it just hasn't been enforced until now, so we're gonna create a culture where everybody who's on Parliament is like representing Parliament, is representing students, and is getting student voices on these college committees, because that's very important.
Representative Mann?
This is probably just me, honestly, but like when I was joining SCG, I wasn't told I had to join like a college committee or just like at least join 2 committees, so I took that as just 2 of the normal like SCG committees, and like so if I was in 2 SCG committees, would that just like dock my pay from like the committee part?
So last semester, like I said, you guys all got paid normally, because like you weren't told this stuff. But now we made this presentation, so you know, so you can now join a college committee now that you know. And if you're not on one college committee and one corporation committee, you'll get paid nothing for this semester. And then if you join one corporation committee, one college committee, which is the absolute minimum in the stipend policy, then you get paid your stipend. Does that answer your question?
I think so.
Okay, Representative Jakes?
My only question is, do you guys have enough college committee spots for all the Parliament members here? That's my only question on that.
There were a lot of vacancies in the sheet. Like there's a lot of vacancies in here. And everybody.
I can interject here. I'm gonna say likely not. So if like, for example, we were at full capacity, all the committees are filled, we wouldn't require somebody to be on a college committee when they can't.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Representative LaRose?
I know for me, I for some reason always have a 4-hour Friday class, and a lot of the committees meet on Fridays during that block, like the 9 to 12 block. Also, I was in the Conditions and Services Committee, and I know Jack is unfortunately not in here anymore. So is that just gonna, like, can I still stay in that? Is it whoever just takes over will be the person running it? Is that still gonna be like the deputy speakers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Representative Ballesteros?
Just for clarification, I swear I'm not just saying this for myself, but to get on like the committee, would it be like an online application or would it just simply be like consulting you guys like about like the sheet up there?
You would just come talk to me, and you could fill it out on that. And then I can set it and appoint you to it, or you can come to the office. I can help you. The committee application forms are on there. So if you want to fill out one of those in the office, you can do that as well. But we're gonna be monitoring this new sheet so that we can more efficiently appoint people. So if you're interested in one of those committees, if you have any questions, you can either contact me or you could add your name to that and I'll talk to you about it.
Thank you.
Representative Hallett?
So I'm just curious, I'm a little bit confused, as long as clarification.
Yeah.
I remember at, like, when I was like at the first, like, oh, here's the basics of Parliament, little talk. Then it was like, oh, well, if you join 2 clubs, then you get some like extra, or not clubs, I'm talking about committees, you get some extra pay. Whoop whoop. How does that apply considering this? I just want, like, I'm a little bit confused.
Yeah, so if you join 2 corporation committees, then that's when you get the pay bump. So you'd be on 2 corporation committees and 1 college committee. I'll be talking about the pay breakdown like in a few slides. Yeah.
And if I can just be transparent, because I did orientation with a lot of you guys, so I was like explaining what I thought the policy to be. I honestly just didn't know that in our policy, you also need to be on one college committee. So like, I apologize. I didn't know that. I'm just gonna be transparent about it. Regarding some other questions, with work conflicts, most of these committees meet during like school hours. And I know that still may not work for everyone, but just to have a general idea of when they meet. And I believe we can appoint multiple people to one committee. I don't think it needs to be
Depends how
one.
many spots there are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think that's all I got.
Representative, or well, Nikita, yeah. Financial.
Does it say, Miguel, in the committee sign-up sheet when each committee meets, or is it really, is each committee kind of random times? And it's not like a set in stone time, like every third Friday of the month?
I think typically they're not, sorry to like, if you were gonna go. I think typically they're not set in stone. Like I remember last semester when my committee was meeting, there was a time and then some people weren't able to meet. Not bylaws, like the college committee I was on, and it just got rescheduled. And it was kind of just random, but I didn't know about the time well in advance.
Thank you.
Sorry, Miguel's just gonna check something real quick.
So see, it shows who's on the committee, so you can just reach out to them through email. To ask when they meet. It looks like it might not say what time, so please know that.
Okay, Representative Goldberg.
This is a super quick question. Is this like, this isn't really a policy change, this is policy enforcement, but is this effective after this meeting? And if so, when is the deadline for parliament members to join the committees? And if not, there should be one.
Yeah, so this is like going into effect like right now. Because now everybody knows your responsibilities. And you're gonna get this slideshow. You have the checklist in front of you. I printed one out for everybody. So you can like bring that with you wherever you are. And then the deadline for joining a college committee, let's say the end of February. Cause you should all like, just do it as soon as possible. Fill out the spreadsheet or reach out to President DiGregorio. Thank you.
Representative Pacheco.
I'd like to put in a motion to amend the rules for parliament members to say instead of one corporate committee and one college committee to just, or one college committee and just reduce it down to one committee. Cause it sounds like a lot of people in the room have a problem with policy. So let's just vote on it. We can change it right now.
Okay, we can't, I don't know if we can change it this second, but we can definitely do a motion to see if people would prefer that we work on that and get that policy through, if that's something you're interested in. So.
It would need to be seconded.
Yeah, so seconded by Representative Mann. Any discussion? Representative Logan?
Yes. I'm a senior and I'm graduating this year and I need to put as many internship hours in as possible. So, honestly, literally the only day that I would be free to join a committee is a Monday.
Okay, any other discussion? Representative Bazina.
I was kind of I kind of understand where you guys were getting at with how limited they were, like how limited the meetings were. But then, once, I'm sorry, is it Treasurer Miguel?
Treasurer, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Once you mentioned that the meetings, sorry, I don't know who, one of you mentioned that the meetings kind of were canceled and went off schedule and kind of became random. I think that just gives a lack of foresight for students that have responsibilities outside of here.
Representative Ballesteros.
Correct me if I'm wrong, please, but don't allow the like the committee meetings, like the ones that are like infrequent, like they'll be on like a Wednesday. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't think there's like any specific day that these usually happen on. Representative Jakes.
Yeah, I just want to speak on like when committees meet, usually be based on like everyone's availability in that specific committee and like the importance of the college committees, why they want students there. Is because like obviously with it being in parliament, you're like a voice of the students. So it's like like, obviously, like, you all get to talk together about the issues here. But it's like, if you're on a college committee, you're able to have these discussions with college professors, administrators, that kind of stuff. So that's why it's really important for like Rick's, for parliament members to be on these college committees.
Okay, Representative Rose.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think I've had some timing issues, but that's just because for some reason I keep ending up in Friday classes. But I feel like I strongly believe that as parliament members who are getting paid, like, we should be in 2 committees. Maybe that's a hot take, but I feel like obviously communicating about time might just be, I think timing is a problem for a lot of us, especially as someone who used to be a commuter. Like the Friday, like, I mean, I wanted to be in PR, but it's like I have the class that runs from 9 to 1 or 9 to 12. So that's annoying, but I do feel like as parliament members, like, I agree. I think we should be put in 2 committees.
Okay, Representative Hallett.
So I think like I get both sides where everybody's coming from. I would say this is just kind of something I'm throwing out there. Like we were talking earlier about the increased pay. If we were to change it so you don't have to be in like a college committee, maybe that could be the way you get that increased pay. So it's more incentive because I understand the value in them. So that way it's still desirable. People are still becoming involved. But if it doesn't push around people's busy schedules, maybe it's more inclusive.
All right, thank you. Next, Representative Weber.
I'll just make a comment. I know like there's probably not enough spots on that spreadsheet for everyone here. So is there like a possibility if this is enforced to like expand those spots so that like we can't just say like, hey, like if you're not on that sheet and there's no more spots, okay, then you don't have, that's not a requirement for you. Like it's hard to enforce for everyone if there's not enough spots. Just a comment.
Okay, Representative Dempsey.
Yeah, I think that the reason we have the college committee and then the corporation committee is because, as I said, when you serve on both, you're both serving the student body in this capacity for SCG directly, internally, but the college committee, you're serving them externally as well. And since we are all paid by the student activity fee, which is a tax that all the students pay in their tuition, we need to actually go and do both internal and external work for the students and actually give them the money that they're actually paying. I mean, you make it, we need to earn the money that they're actually essentially paying us. So I understand some people have a lot of commitments and stuff. I'm on 3 committees. I'm comptroller here. I have 2 accounting jobs and I'm a grad student. I'm not saying, I mean, and I managed to do all of that. I mean, so I think that since they're giving you till February, the end of February, I think instead of voting on things now, just to scrap it and make it easier. I think you should just go and take the extra time that they're giving you and see what's available and how you can fit into your schedule if possible. And like, you're giving you time to figure things out. So I wouldn't just, just automatically just chuck it right now, just because it doesn't, just because it doesn't appease, isn't a popular thing to see.
Okay, thank you. Representative Pico.
I just want to point out that Parliament hasn't enforced this in anyone's living memory. It has not affected the function of Parliament. The policy up to this point, as everyone who's here today has understood it, is to be on at least 1 committee, which some people still aren't doing. And I personally, I joined 2 corporate committees, not knowing that I needed to be on 1 of each, right? Because that wasn't explained to me. I have no problem committing more time. And I think people that want to commit more time will commit more time. But I think that there's a sentiment in the room that some people don't have any extra time. And I'd hate to see them get punished or leave Parliament for it. And I also think that a lot of people in the room are looking at it like you guys are imposing this on them suddenly, even though it's been in the rules. I don't think everyone knew about it. And we have the agency to change it. And we should see if people want to exercise that.
Okay, Representative Budzina.
I just want to respond to what Representative Jax and Representative LaRose said a few minutes ago about how it could be valuable to bring more people to these commissions. I understand where they're coming from, and there is a lot to be gained from having a variety of people on those commissions, but I feel as though at this point you're kind of forcing people who don't want to be on those commissions to serve those roles, and that kind of devalues the purpose of having people on those commissions if they don't particularly care for what?
Okay, in response to that, before we continue, I just want to say that I agree that we do have this in our rules and not everyone was aware of it, and I agree that I wasn't aware of it as well. But we also can't, on the other hand, say, well, I don't want to be on an SCG committee. So, and that would also be punitive. I'm not saying that there isn't room for flexibility on corporation committees, but I will say there was a lot of trouble trying to get people onto them this year at all. So I would say some sort of incentive, as Representative Howlett brought up, is an idea that I favor. And also I would just, as we continue on in this conversation, I don't want these topics to get redundant. So if you don't have anything new to add to the conversation, please put your card down so that I can maybe propose some ways we can go about it, and then you guys can vote on it. Just keep that in mind as I continue. So Treasurer Hoyos.
So I want to say something and then move on, just because like Dante said, it's getting kind of redundant. But you guys, like, we're all getting paid to represent students, both at Parliament, in SCG committees, and at the college level. And there's a lot of power in that. We have a lot of power, a lot of responsibility at this college, a lot of responsibility to the students that we represent. And if you don't want to do that, then you shouldn't be here. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know why you joined if you don't want to represent students. But this is what we're going off of for the rest of this semester. And then, like, just please look at the spreadsheet, put your name in a committee that sounds interesting, and open this link. Like, there are so many college committees. If you can't attend a meeting time, there are so many. And if the spreadsheet is full, like, talk to Ted, that he could, like, maybe try to make spots for students on committees. Because have you done that before, Ted?
I mean, we've had some challenges with getting folks to be on these committees, and they're really, really important. So, I mean, if it came to it, we had to ask some questions, certainly we could approach it, but I can't, as the person who does not, I guess, chair those committees, I don't know that I could authorize, putting something out. We certainly could ask.
Okay, sorry for throwing you into the.
No, it's an honest question. I'll give an honest answer.
Ted can advocate for you.
Okay, I'm gonna just make this quick because this is obviously a topic that everyone cares about. First of all, I want to say that, like, continuing on what Miguel said, student representation on these committees is super important. As Matt can attest to, like, we have fought really hard to have every single seat we can get on these committees, and them not being filled would be a shame, especially considering we're the body that organizes that. So I just want everyone to keep that in mind, and now I'm gonna make you guys raise your hands to different alternatives just so we can get this done with. So if you would like to completely get rid of the requirement of college committees, raise your hand. Okay, if you would like to keep it the exact same way, raise your hand. This isn't the only options, by the way. There's gonna be more than that. Okay. If you would like to have college committees with some sort of incentive or some sort of alteration to the burden that has on your pay. Okay. So it looks like that's the majority opinion. I will take this to the e-board. We'll talk about the current enforcement of what we have right now, and then we'll work on change.
Call the order, there is still a question pending, Marcus's motion, so we.
Oh, yeah.
Debating that.
So do you want to vote on it? Should I vote on it?
But maybe you should reiterate your motion.
Yeah, you want to reiterate your
You can
motion?
change it, or we can
Yeah,
abandon
the
it.
motion I proposed was just to change it from and to or, so that everyone has the requirement to meet on one committee. Which was how we've been operating for years, so just make it official. Is there any interest in that? Dante, you have to call the vote.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Opposed.
Aye.
Your hand up for Nikita.
Keep your hands up, Nikita, on opposition.
Well, yeah, we gotta count. My head was.
Okay, so raise your hand if you don't what?
Can you just rephrase that? Cause I was like.
Rephrase what he said?
No, but you were but you were just said to vote on, cause I'm just really confused by the.
We're voting on his idea, if we like his idea or not, and whether or not that will be the idea that moves forward.
Can you rephrase that then?
Yeah.
Just change the wording from and, like one corporate committee and one student committee to or one corporate committee or one student committee.
Be required to be on one committee.
Yeah.
Right, so your requirement would be one committee and then we would operate as we've been operating
Yeah.
previously.
I have a point of information. If this motion does become approved, it's not like we'll change the policy instantly. It's a motion to take that action, to revise the policy, to bring it back here for a formal vote. I just want to reiterate that for people.
Okay, so starting again, I'm just gonna move to the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor, hands up.
Hands up.
Thank you. 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. Okay, thank you.
Okay, all opposed?
1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 16. 16, thank you.
Okay, what was the prevailing?
The notes.
The notes, okay. But still gonna talk about it with E-board, and try and figure out an alternative to that. So I believe we can move forward, so.
Yeah, lay the gavel.
Opposed?
All right, thank you guys for the questions. If you have more questions going forward, reach out to me at the treasurer email. But continue with the slideshow. So this breaks down the pay for parliament members. If you're on one SCG committee and one college committee, you get $30 per parliament meeting. If you're on more than one SCG committee and one college committee, you get $40 per parliament meeting. That's the pay bump right now. Finance commission members get paid hourly at the Rhode Island minimum wage during the budget hearings. So the budget hearings are on the weekend of February 21st. 20th, 21st. And then we basically sit in that room for like 2 or 3 entire days and we compensate everybody for that accordingly because there's a lot of brain power and work that goes into that. And that's $16 per hour in 2026. Non-student parliament members, so faculty, staff, and presenters are not compensated with anything but our love and appreciation. And then this is kind of confusing wording, but that's what they used in the policy. And then non-parliament student members would be students on committees. So on the finance commission, that would be $25 per meeting that these people get paid. And then for all other committees, they get paid $20 per meeting. So you can be part of SCG and not be coming to campus at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday night. And then like if you live far away or if you just like to lay in bed. So like let your friends know about this because they can still get involved in SCG and join the committees and make an impact. They can also just join college committees and participate that way. So that is payment for parliament members. And then for forfeiture, this is the grounds for forfeiting your stipend. So you will forfeit your stipend unless leaves of absence are obtained if you fail to attend the parliament budget meetings, which I believe is April 1st this year. So that one, we go through every club's budget with Finance Commission's recommendation and we approve their budgets for the next school year. So if you miss that meeting and you don't have an excused absence, you don't get paid at all for the semester. If you are expelled from parliament for absences or any other reason that you might be expelled, then you forfeit your pay for the entire semester. And then if you fail to fulfill your committee membership requirements, which is what we just talked so much about, that is also grounds for forfeiture of your stipend. And you may appeal any forfeiture to parliament. So if you find out that you're not getting paid and you're like, what the heck, I did that though, you can then appeal that to parliament so that it can be discussed at parliament and then parliament votes on it because there needs to be checks and balances on my power. And then to end on a positive note, the purpose of everybody receiving a stipend is to compensate us all for our hard work spent in service to our respective student bodies. And then it's also to incentivize participation in the affairs of the student body. And then I paraphrased this quote from JFK. It says, ask not what SCG can do for you, ask what you can do for SCG. So, do you guys have any questions about what I just talked about?
Representative Ballesteros.
Yeah, read the JFK quote in his voice.
No.
I mean, Dante is the gavel right now. It's your
no.
point.
Representative Mann.
No, seconded.
Oh, you were saying, oh, so that wasn't a motion, but.
No, make it a motion.
Yeah. What?
Oh, sorry. Motion to read for Josh Ballesteros, representative, to read the JFK quote, in the JFK voice.
Seconded by Representative Mann. Any discussion?
Go for it.
No, wait. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Aye. Now do we have to count those now?
Point of order, that's not relevant to this meeting. So
Thank you,
you can
Mikhail.
do that on your own time with your friends, please.
Okay, any actual questions? All right. Well, thank you for your presentation, you guys. You did an incredible job. Thank you guys for all of your questions. Those were very important things to be asking right now. As we go through some of the expectations that we have and being realistic about them.
I guess the final thought I have is, at the end of the day, SCG collects $60. Is that right? $60 from every student. Well, I guess maybe it's poor comparison to our government, since a lot of us probably disagree what they're doing with their taxpayers, right? Our tax dollars, right? Well, all right, that's a big thing. But we're collecting money from the student body. Let's use it wisely. Let's represent them well. That's all I got.
All right, thank you. I yield the gavel back to Speaker Tommy.
Thank you. Okie dokie. What is next? Student Organizations Committee Policy Discussion and Voting. Secretary Colonis, I yield the floor to you.
Cool. So we're looking at the policy once again, second time this year. In section 1.03 review of constitutions, you'll see something in red. Little edit. It states that clubs are allowed up to 2 excused absences per semester for being deferred. Before being deferred for that term, any single unexcused absence will result in the club being deferred to the following semester. So this is important. So we have a guideline for clubs when they're coming to Parliament. They're using our time, like we're all coming here to listen to them. So we want to make sure there's a guideline set in place for when they come here. If they just no show, you're gonna defer them to the following semester, so next semester. If they do give an excused absence, they're allowed 2 of those before, same thing, being deferred for that term. Do I open for any discussion?
Is there any discussion on what you just talked about?
Should I call on them or?
I'll call on them. Representative Russell.
So I'm just curious, because I know that there's problems with us like straight up denying clubs like legally sometimes, and so I'm wondering, like deferring them, could they say like that we're deferring them unfairly because of our policy, or?
It's a unbiased policy. It's not like based on any like of their characteristics or anything about their club.
It's just whether they show up or not to Parliament to represent their club. That's all it's based on.
Vice President, are you just moving your tag around? Okay. Is there any other discussion? Treasurer Hoyos?
Can you say what section of the policy it's in?
Oh, yeah, it's 1.03 review constitutions. Is everyone able to see it? Okay. There we go.
Yeah, thank you.
Point of information, if you're looking at it on a PDF, it's page 82 of 91. Vice President Sullivan?
I'd like to make a motion to approve it.
Okay, seconded by President DiGregorio. All in favor of adding in section, let's see, 1.03, 1A, clubs are allowed up to 2 excused absences per semester before being deferred for that term. Any single unexcused absence will result in the club being deferred to the following semester. All in favor of adding that line to the student organization committee policy?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Okay. Policy passed. Vice President Sullivan.
Do we need to review? Oh my God, wait. Yeah, this, in the stock policy, it also says something under section 2.01 guiding principles, the removal of promote the subordination. Do we need- Oh, good, just
Thank
like.
you.
Okay, I yield the floor to Secretary Colonis to explain that change.
Do you want me to explain?
Yeah.
Basically, we can't say that. We can't say promote the subordination of, they can kind of have their own ideology and whatever they want to say. This is, by the way, this is on page, actually, where is this?
It's
What page?
2.10.
6 of 10.
Yeah,
Guiding
it's
principles.
2.10, 10A. What page is it, do you know?
Page 86 of
Page
90.
86. Yeah, so just we're removing the word, that line that says promote the subordination of, that's anti-freedom of speech. We can't have that in there. And if we do have that in there, we can't enforce it, so. It's pretty cut and dry, there's not much more to say about it. Do you wanna?
Yeah, okay. I'm seeking a motion to eliminate the wording or promote the subordination of in section 2.10A of the student organization committee policy. Okay, motion by Representative Mann, seconded by Representative Seguin. Is there any discussion on this change? Okay, then I call the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Whoa, passed. Okay. That's that. So now I yield the floor. Now I yield the floor to President DiGregorio to open the declaration for Deputy Speaker.
Okay. Yeah, where's the clipboard? Where did that last?
It's just.
Oh, okay, no problem. So really quickly, I'll reiterate what Tess was saying earlier. Did you get it?
Sure.
This declaration period will be opened until February 4th for the deputy speaker role. We're going to be having the election for this role at the next meeting. And really quickly, I just wanted to say what the deputy speaker role is, just for anyone who doesn't know, because I'm sure there's a lot of people interested. If you don't remember from like the 6 million speeches we heard earlier in the semester, the deputy speaker performs the duties of the speaker in his or her absence or disability, voting in the event of a tie, and otherwise has full voting rights as deputy speaker. Assists the speaker in efficient administration of parliament meetings, presides over meetings of the Conditions and Services Committee, and votes in the event of a tie. Responsible for all described duties ascribed to the Conditions and Services Committee, and serves as the recording secretary for all meetings and proceedings of the Bylaws/Adjudication Commission. So we can pass that around now.
There's also gonna be a QR code. If you're not in our group me yet, please join our group me.
All right, thank you.
Can I sign that pen?
Yes, here's a pen. Okay, I yield the floor while that goes around.
Okay, thank you. And then we amended that, so there's no open declaration for public relations coordinator. So we are going to move on to updates and remarks. First, our administrative update from Mrs. Cindy Kozel. You have the floor.
Hi, everyone. A great discussion tonight on a lot of important topics, but I wanted to follow up on the AI task force. I know students have been expressing a lot of desire to have the college explore more options for AI, how to make this such that you are learning the tools you need for future careers. So the two reps we need from this for this work team, which is a college committee, the difference between a committee and a work team has a shorter timeline. It is not an ongoing committee. It's a group of people, a committee with a short timeline. So this AI committee is really important for the college, and I know students have really brought this forward, so we're hoping to get two great representatives there. The other treasurer, Miguel, in your presentation mentioned Accepted Students Day. It is not in April this year. It is Saturday, March 28th. So I want you to put that all on your calendar, and we need all of you to be there. And we need 30 of our clubs and organizations to be there. This is an important day. It is the day when all of our accepted students come to campus to decide if Rick is their school of choice or not. And the clubs and organizations, and all of you are critical to this. It's a big festival atmosphere. This year's theme is opening day, kind of a sports theme, baseball, because when Easter, Passover, etc. falls, we had to move it to the end of March. And that is when Major League Baseball opens. So it's tying in with that. So I would really like you to get the word out. We need to be there for 1:45 p.m. It ends at 4:30. And I am proposing that the executive committee, maybe in their meeting this week, talk about if they would be willing to sponsor a contest that my area would co-sponsor with a cash prize to the club or organization that does the best booth. We have done that within the student services area, and the booths have gotten much better. So I think it would be great, and I know our clubs and organizations would like additional funds. So I would be willing from my budget to put some money up if SCG might be willing to do that. And how do we get as many clubs as possible to participate? So we really need you there. And again, you put it in what's required for us, but this is the most important day for us for getting students to get the information they need to make the best decision about if Rhode Island College is there where they want to be. So if I could follow up with you and if you guys could talk about that in your exec, I would appreciate it. The other is, don't forget, February 21st is also Winterfest. So another big event. I know we have Finance Commission going on for that whole couple days there. Again, that's 12 to 3, lots of activities and things for people. And again, lots of issues. And I think Anastasia, the chief, Jana brought up some things to think about. Please keep bringing your questions and your thoughts and your views forward. We need to hear from all of you as students. Your discussion, your questions, we only had X number of time allowed to this in the agenda, but we need you to keep bringing these things forward. We need to hear your views and the views of your peers. And remember, you aren't just here as an individual, you're here as an at-large rep. Some of you are here in other roles that you've had. We need you to bring things back and get other students' views as well. So again, thank you for a great meeting to start the semester, but we really need to get lots of things going for the semester. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, we're gonna have a faculty update from Dr. Perry Levis on the big screen.
Hi, y'all. Sorry that I can't be with you tonight. There's Nelson in the background. There he is. Okay, I appreciate what Cindy just said, and I agree with her. I have a couple of quick updates and then 2 points of clarification. I had tried to raise my hand earlier, but because I'm not there, it's kind of hard. And I appreciate the opportunity of at least being online. First of all, I just want to raise up that the president is having a town hall with faculty and staff in the middle of February that he's holding for us. And then the RIC Day at the State House is on March 19th. And if people do not know, about 2 weeks ago, our governor in the State of the State address and then in his budget has included the permanent allocation of dollars for the Hope Scholarship in the budget, which is very significant. And we're going to have to, as faculty, staff, and students, rally around and lobby for that to be voted on by the legislature. So I'm sure you all will hear more about RIC Day at the State House and lobbying for the Hope Scholarship. Specifically on the faculty front, I also wanted to raise up, I've mentioned before that there was an early retirement package that was issued to all faculty. If faculty were putting in for early retirement, they've already had to submit their paperwork. Faculty is waiting to hear back from administration about whether or not their early retirement packages have been accepted. If they are accepted, we will have early retirements as early as June 2026. There is opportunity that if faculty are not given the opportunity of retiring early because the administration feels that their courses or their role is too important, then they may be denied and their early retirement and have to stay either for 1 or 2 semesters, but there will be early retirements and faculty losses as of June 2026, but we don't know where that is around the campus. Finally, just in terms of clarifications, this is what I had raised my hand about. I just wanted to raise up that Marcus's comment about the flock cameras are correct. Flock cameras were intended on collecting personal data. Whether or not they're collecting personal data on our campus, I do not know. I'm not the expert about that, but that's what flock cameras were intended to do. And so I think it's really important. Marcus raised that, and he is correct. And there are lots of discussions happening around the campus between faculty and the American Federation of Teachers Union, which is our union that represents the faculty, about how these flock cameras may or may not eventually be used to track information for our students and actually be related to ICE and immigration authorities. So I just wanted to raise that point of clarification. Finally, I do want to raise the last point about what Miguel suggested. You know, before our campus is implementing major changes in security and surveillance systems, there should be points of input that students and faculty and staff have. And I appreciated so much the chief and Anastasia coming tonight, but they came tonight to be giving information. And so my question is, what are the points in which that students can actually give targeted feedback about the implementation of these systems on campus? Because this is our community. We should be finding the right balance between safety and security, but we have to be most comfortable with that. And it's not about the police and about our administration, it's about us. And so I would recommend that we actually, as SCG, find ways in which that we can go back to Anastasia and back to the chief about where are there going to be the points in which that they're going to ask our input, not actually just coming with information, but where are students going to be asked input about the security systems and the surveillance systems that are going to be implemented on our campus.
Okay, thank you. I think we had is it a point of information?
It is. Yeah, just to add to what Professor
Oh, hold on, can we hear from
Sure.
Representative Kozol first?
Mine was a point of clarification on early retirement. 2 pieces of information. It is faculty and staff for early retirement, not just faculty. And faculty and staff have until March to determine if they are doing that. So no one will know until after faculty and staff have meetings and put in if they want to do that. And they have until a date in March to do that. So employees have not decided if they want to do it. But again, faculty and staff. It's a magic age and years of service of 80 to be eligible. So you have to have worked here 10 years, be a full-time person, and have been your age and years of service equals 80 to be considered. So it's not just faculty.
Thank you. And then Representative Chico, you have a point. Oh. Go ahead, Professor Levis or Representative Levis.
Yeah, you can just call me Perry. I just said thanks to Cindy. I just said thanks to Cindy for clarifying. I appreciate it.
Okay, Representative Pacheco.
I just wanted to also just add to Professor Levis's point that it's also Fourth Amendment concerns when it comes to the flock cameras, because the police don't need warrants or anything to check them, and they can track travel without warrant consideration, which previously police would, if they're going to tail you for an extended period of time or like looking drunk, they would require warrants to do that. But now searchable anytime, you're basically surrendering all privacy within the parking lots and roads, and it's something like.
Thank you. We're gonna move on to staff updates from Mr. Michael Ward.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. We know you're back. If anybody was in Dawn or the Bistro today around noon, it was absolutely mayhem. So we're excited to have you back. Couple of quick updates from my area. I can tell you that we do have, you've seen some of the new feel of dawn between some paint, carpet, but we're not done. This is kind of a phased approach. There's some seating that'll be coming in the near future, we hope. So that's just one more step. And some of this was the result of our surveys, and I'll just add to that. Our surveys we'll do spring surveys in the end of February, beginning of March, which we take that information and try to put that to work in the dining operations. I mentioned at the last meeting I attended that there is an action station that will be popping up in Dawn. That's going to happen. The other thing you can look forward to in the bistro is we will be introducing smoothies. That'll start up sometime just around spring break. But I will keep it brief for you, and I think Michael Kane is next.
Yep, Michael Kane, you have the floor. Thank you. Thank you. Staff update. Representative Goldberg and I have started the facilities conversation for block party, also known as picnic day in EMS, which is strange. It's all good. And I can say that we are working with facilities already. They know about our electrical power request. We will not have what happened the last year. We'll have an electrician there. We have power supplies. That's it. That's all I have. Okay. Thank you. Next, we're gonna hear from our Dean of Students, Mr. Tenzito.
Thank you. Welcome back. Also, so great to see you all here. It's very lonely in Donovan without you all around. So it's nice to see the quad full in your faces every day. The only thing I wanted to update is that I think folks may be aware about a national call for a shutdown on Friday. I just wanted to share that my office had been contacted by a few different students about what the Dean of Students office can do, what the college can do. And you know, while we're very sympathetic and want students to stand up for what's right, we have no authority to shut down the campus for an event like this. Or I think I even got asked to cancel classes, which I did ask to see if I could get that authority, but they denied me pretty quick. I'll get phone calls and questions about whether or not I can do anything about classes coming up on Monday when I can't say anything. But I just want to share, it's not out of a lack of concern for students wanting to advocate and wanting to represent what's important to them and what matters. But the college has to really walk a line in terms of what we're able to do and what we're not able to do to promote events, especially when I think you all know for non-recognized student groups, we can't just send out advertisement, we can't organize. So I just wanted to share that with you all in case you're hearing things. It's, you know, certainly I think you all know us well enough that we're not trying to be unsupportive or unhelpful, but we have to abide by what cooperatively what our college policies are. So just wanted to make sure you're aware of that. And again, I'll echo Cindy's comments. Great discussions and commentary tonight. Challenging.
All right, thank you. And then lastly, we're going to hear from our alumni, Mr. Matthew Jakes.
Thank you, Speaker Ptolemy. Just a quick thing, the cap and gowns, like if you're a senior graduating this year, keep an eye on that. There are alumni that will be sponsoring those. Like I'm sure there'll be emails going out about that. Another thing that one of my alumni friends wanted to talk to you guys about is obviously the bill to have armed campus security on campus. Make sure if there's any forms where you can like state your opinions on that, you can like give your thoughts to do that. Obviously in an appropriate manner, like last time that got brought up. All right, that concludes my announcements. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna move on to appointments, resignations, and vacancies. So I yield the floor. I think I have to yield the gavel. No, I gotta prove it. I yield the floor to President DiGregorio.
Okay, for Elections Commission, we now have Zaria Lynn Campbell. For Student Entertainment Committee, we have Riley Jackman and Zachary Marks. For Student Organizations Committee, we have William Dempsey. And for resignations, we have Marcus Rocha from SEC, Marcus Rocha from Elections Commission, and Holly Bruin from SOC. That's it.
Okay. I'm seeking a motion to approve these appointments, resignations, and vacancies. Motion by Treasurer Hoyos, seconded by Representative Rocha. Is there any discussion? I don't think we discussed this. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Approved, passed. All right, we're gonna move on to issues of Parliament members. Treasurer Hoyos, beat you guys to it.
All right, so I have a few. The resident assistant application closes on Monday. I think everybody should have gotten an email about that, whether you're a resident or a commuter. You can apply. It's a great way to get involved on campus, and a great way to learn and grow yourself. And they pay for your housing and meal plan. That's how they compensate us. I'm an RA. I've done it for over 2 years and I think it's great. And then orientation leader application closes soon too. I'm not sure the exact date, but there's some info sessions happening this week. If you're interested. And then you can also reach out to me, Dante. There's a bunch of us here that have done orientation. I think it's very important to like have SCG presence at orientation. Just to like know what the incoming class is talking about, what they want. And then the senior class is doing a 100-day till graduation party on Thursday next week. There's going to be a gigantic, full sheet cake. It's gonna be huge from Dawn.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's gonna be really cool. There's gonna be all kinds of snacks there. And seniors can contribute to a slideshow that we're putting together. So stop by. It's not like a crazy event. You just stop by, grab food and talk.
Point of information.
Oh, yeah.
The orientation meeting is tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the second floor of the building 30, like all the way on the other side of campus. And everybody should go to it. It's gonna be really great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Point of information, the orientation leader application closes February 13th.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we're gonna hear from, yeah, that's what I'm calling on. Next, we're gonna hear from Representative Barone.
Hi, so Library Advisory Committee meets on Friday, and they're really interested in how students are utilizing the library. There's been a lot of talk in years about how they're gonna like redesign it. So if any, I don't know how passionate you guys are about library culture, but if you have a lot of thought, please let me know, because they always ask me what students think of the space and what you guys do in there and whatever, so.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Next, Representative LaRose.
Hi, everybody. I have two things I want to say. First of all, Environmental Club is hosting elections soon. So if you're interested in an e-board position or just joining the club in general, it's not next week, but the week after, we're going to be hosting elections. So please come stop by, say hello. Our meetings are every week on Wednesdays, 12 to 12:45 in the Reinhardt Room Adams Library. And also, I'm saying this as a separate entity from SCG and the Environmental Club. If you're interested about what Tenzito had just brought up about Friday, I'm rallying a group of students to go via RIPTA to Kennedy Plaza to go march with Brown, Jay Wu, Roger Williams, and I think Providence College will also be there. So if you're interested at 1 o'clock, come to the RIPTA bus stop and I'll be giving kind of a rundown on the do's and don'ts of protesting. If you have never done it before, everyone's welcome, and we'll be taking sustainable transportation to Kennedy Plaza. But that's fine.
All right, thank you. Next, we're gonna hear from Representative Reed.
This is a largely Mike Kane related question. But I had a friend come to me recently with an issue with court where he's like legally changed his name. He's gone through the process with Rhode Island College to get it changed for his email, everything like that. He's changed it on Rip Connect, but it doesn't transfer over to court. It still uses like his name before those legal changes. And I was just curious if that, like where that issue comes. I know court isn't a Rick Rand thing, but I know it use Rhode Island College's database.
Yeah, so my Rick, the keeper of student data at Rhode Island College, is also, so it's a follow-up question. Is the student's email preferred email the correct name?
I can.
Sorry, but we can take this offline too,
Yeah.
if you want, but.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate that issues of parliament members is not a place for debate or questions, but complaints, it is a place for, and announcements and promotions and all that. So. Oh, Nikita?
I just wanted to address that because I did a lot of training and implementation with Reconnect over the summer. And I can absolutely bring that question. The question came up during the summer in our training and implementation. Find me after, but I will bring that up to the team that helps to bring Reconnects to life.
Okay.
Because that question didn't come up.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Representative Kane.
So. Dean Zito had to step out for a phone call. So the chief of police had mentioned we faculty and staff have the care team referral form through is that through student success? I know it's a group of different partners on campus and everything. And so I was not sure if that qualified as a wellness check, if that's a sustain, a form we could use as alternative to calling campus police and saying.
It's what faculty and staff
Yeah,
use.
right.
Yes.
So
they
that's
do.
a similar approach.
Yes.
Okay. And is that suitable for students to use? Okay. Thank you.
Great question.
Thank you. Next, we're gonna hear from Representative Logan.
Yes, Tess and I were actually talking about the food drive for this year, and I don't know if we wanna begin to discuss it this meeting or put it off till the next meeting.
Not for this segment, but that could go to committees. Or we could bring it up at the next meeting. You could reach out to Nikita and we could get that discussion on the agenda.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. And then Representative Ballesteros.
A quick plug for the debate club at the I'm sure for a lot of you who went to the ballroom, I'm forgetting well, but when they had like all the clubs down there at the ballroom, the debate club is something that hasn't really been up and running since like 2008, like in full. That's the date I kept on hearing, but we're gonna be restarting it again. It's gonna be bigger, better, and debatier than ever. So if you're coming down, it's gonna be engaged almost likely in one of the rooms on the second floor or somewhere in the poli sci department on Wednesdays, the first and third Wednesdays of the month at 1 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. There you have something. I saw someone pointing out the screen. Okay.
She did a little celebration of it.
Oh, okay.
I'm celebrating the debate club.
All right, are there any more issues of parliament members? Going once, going twice. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure you're just gonna make a motion to adjourn.
Let me move it.
All right, President Di Gregorio.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, seconded by Representative Mann. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
All right. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Stay in your seats for roll call.
Oh, yeah, that.
Roll call, everybody.
2 roll calls.
Okay. Start from the top. Dante Di Gregorio.
Present.
Tess Sullivan.
Present.
Renee Colonis. Present. Miguel Hoyos.
Present.
Benjamin Dominey.
Present.
Jack Doyle. Brianna Acosta. Isabella Bob. Here. Joshua Ballesteros.
Present.
Ollie Barone. Here. Monica Petunia. Oh, sorry, here. Darren Campbell. Present. Sonia Chatayan. William Dempsey.
Here.
Donovan Dodson.
Here.
Jacob Fernholz.
Here.
Amy Goldberg.
Here.
Alexander College. Here. Riley Jackman. Here. Alex Fong.
Here.
Mary LaRose. Here. Albert Slogan.
Present.
Malcolm Mann.
Here.
Faith Marshall. Here. Madison Mello. Here. Justin Carlos. James Ellis. Marcus Pacheco.
Here.
Kai Reed.
Here.
Marcus Rocha.
Here.
Haley Rose. Chris Russell.
Here.
Jason Sanchez. Jonathan Seguin.
Here.
Nilsa Toshkin. Here. Tamia Smith. Jasmine Valdez. Lucas Weber. Cindy Kozel. Present. Perry Levis.
Present.
Marcotte. Michael Kane.
Here.
Michael Ward.
Here.
Ted Zito.
Here.
Matthew Jakes. Thank you. Have a good night. Thanks, Perry.
Thanks, Nikita.
Sorry.